To fend off my family's pressure to marry, I paid 9.9 yuan online to hire a young woman. We were going to fake a marriage, but when we tried to register at City Hall, the clerk looked at me with utter contempt. You're already married, and you're here to register again? Don't you know bigamy is a crime? After leaving City Hall, I stared blankly at the printed marriage certificate. The young woman beside me sighed regretfully. Mr. Ling, you're already married. Why did you pay to hire me? Then she added, the deposit is non-refundable, she said, then hurried off. I stood there stunned. I still hadn't recovered from the shock. I'd never even held a girl's hand. How could I possibly be married? I looked again at the printout in my hand. The man in the ID photo was definitely me. As for the woman, her name was Shen Youchu. She was beautiful, but I had never met her. I took out my phone and snapped a picture. Then I sent it to a contact with a black profile picture. Find out who she is. The reply came instantly. Understood. Suppressing my confusion, I rode my battered electric scooter into an upscale villa complex. The moment I parked, I heard the servants gossiping behind me. Who is he? He's so handsome. Shh. Don't say things like that. He's the illegitimate son the Ling family refuses to acknowledge. His mother came here years ago, heavily pregnant, demanding answers. That old woman had no shame. She kept making excuses to freeload off the Ling family and refused to leave. At least he knows his place. He moved out in middle school. Who knows what he wants today? I frowned and pretended not to hear them. Then I walked straight into the living room. My mother, Liu Li, was waiting at the door when she saw me. She anxiously dragged me upstairs at once. Come see your brother first. Oh, right? You got the marriage certificate, didn't you? I answered calmly. I did. Good. Remember your place. Shen is your brother's fiancée. A top-tier family like hers is beyond the hopes of an illegitimate son like you. Only your brother deserves her. Mockery flickered in my eyes. Shen had pursued me for 4 years in college. Yet on graduation day, she got together with my brother, Ling Fan. Liu Li demanded that I marry someone immediately to end all possibility between Shen and me. Ever since childhood, whenever Ling Fan and I had conflicting interests, she always demanded that I give in without conditions. I looked at her coldly. We agreed. This is the last time. I'm doing this only to repay her for giving birth to me. Liu Li impatiently said she understood. When we reached Ling Fan's room, he greeted me with a smile. Ling Yu, what brings you here? Before I could speak, Liu Li answered first. Xiao Fan, Ling Yu got married today. Ling Fan looked surprised. So soon? Who is she? Is she better than Shen? Liu Li sneered. How could she be? In all of Hiking, you couldn't find anyone with greater status than Miss Shen. What respectable family could he possibly marry into? She's just some street thug. He didn't even dare bring her here. He was afraid her shabby appearance would offend your eyes. There was a bitter edge to Ling Fan's voice. How could that be? Ling Yu is so handsome. Otherwise, Sister Shen wouldn't have pursued him for 4 years. What good is being handsome? With his status, only some trash from who knows where would be willing to marry him. Miss Shen only saw him as a toy, just playing with him. Only you, only someone of your standing is worthy of Miss Shen. The woman in the photo, with her looks and poise, didn't look remotely like a street thug, but I couldn't be bothered to argue. By then, Ling Fan had put on his watch. He wanted to put on his dress shoes, but his shirt was too tight, making it hard for him to bend down. He smiled faintly and looked at me. Liu Li immediately shoved me. Useless thing. Why are you still so clueless? Your brother can't bend down. Hurry up and put his shoes on for him. My expression turned cold. You can put them on for him yourself. Ling Yu, what kind of attitude is that? Do you think getting a wife means you've grown wings? You'll still have to rely on the Ling family. Liu Li raised her voice. If you don't build a good relationship with your brother now, one day, you and your wife will be begging him for help. Besides, the Ling family raised you. You should serve the Ling family, like a beast of burden. Before I could retort, my father, Ling Zhenin, suddenly appeared at the door. An important guest is arriving soon. What are you arguing about in here? Liu Li immediately began to complain tearfully. It's all because of this ungrateful brat. He got his marriage certificate today, and now he has no respect for me, his mother. Ling Zhenin looked at me. You got married. Why didn't you let the family introduce someone to you? Do you have the marriage certificate? Let me see it. Faced with concern from this father who felt like a stranger, I hesitated. Then I took the printout from my bag. But Liu Li snatched it away the next second. Let me see what your thug wife is called. Meanwhile, Ling Fan asked curiously. Dad, who's coming? Why are you so nervous? At the thought of that person, Ling Zhenin felt that her visit would honor his humble home. Then he excitedly spoke a name. Shen Youchu. The moment I heard that name, I froze. Seeing our confusion, Ling Zhenin explained with pride. It's normal that you don't know her. She's extremely mysterious. Even I've never met her. She's Shen Shenzan. She's only 28. Yet she's already the true power behind the Shen family. Liu Li gasped instinctively. Then isn't she more suitable than Shen Shen to lead the family? She's far better suited than the main family's eldest legitimate granddaughter. Ling Zhenin replied irritably. Didn't I say Miss Shen is already married? I narrowed my eyes. Married? If the woman on my marriage certificate really was her, then Shen Youchu must know what was going on. Liu Li was slightly disappointed. Who is her husband? How could he be luckier than Xiaofan? Ling Zhenin frowned and thought. I don't know. I've heard neither she nor her husband like socializing. But why would she come here in person today? Liu Li declared firmly. It must be because Xiaofan is so outstanding that he caught the Shen family's attention. With that, she shoved the unread printout back into my hand. She took Ling Fan's hand. I sneered at her excited expression. The way she acted. She cared more than Madame Ling, his own mother. Just then, the butler came upstairs to remind them. The Shen family will be here any moment. Hearing that, Ling Zhenin hurried downstairs. As he passed me, he casually said, You haven't been home in a long time. Stay for a celebratory drink before you go. I nodded. I wanted to stay and see who Shen Youchu really was. Inside the room, Liu Li watched Ling Fan prepare to marry into a wealthy family. Her eyes gleamed with irrepressible delight. More than 20 years ago, if Madame Ling, Li Xia, hadn't appeared, Liu Li would have been the one to marry Ling Zhenin. She hated Li Xia. So, to get revenge, when Li Xia gave birth on the same day as her, she switched their babies at the hospital. Now, her biological son, Ling Fan, had become the Ling family's young master, while I, the real young master, had become the despised illegitimate son. After going downstairs, I leaned against the shadows beside the stairs. I stared toward the entrance, quietly awaiting the Shen family's arrival. After an unknown amount of time, Madame Ling, Li Xia, came downstairs supported by a servant. She wore a purple qipao, her frame slender and frail. She had a gentle, scholarly air about her. The servant murmured, Madam, you're unwell. You shouldn't have come downstairs. Madame Ling shook her head as she coughed. No, this is such an important day for Xiaofan. I can't miss it. I watched her retreating figure, my eyes filled with longing and affection. How ironic. She was my only warmth in the Ling family. When I was little, Liu Li often refused to feed me. After Madame Ling caught her once, she began leaving food in the garden every day, at a set time for me. She did that for 12 years. If not for Madame Ling's kindness, I would have given up on myself long ago. As I watched Madame Ling walk farther away, her cough drifting back to me now and then, I frowned with concern. Just then, a commotion arose at the entrance. The Shen family had arrived. Ling Zhenin and Madame Ling greeted them at the door. After exchanging a few pleasantries, they stepped aside. A large group swept into the house. I spotted Shen Youchu at once. She was even more beautiful than in the photo. With a cold, commanding presence, sensing my scrutiny, she suddenly looked over. Her piercing gaze made my heart stir. I tried to read the emotion in her eyes, but Shen Youchu looked away. I was left somewhat baffled. Did that look mean? She knew me, or she didn't. Ling Zhenin smiled ingratiatingly. Miss Shen, where is your husband? Didn't he come with you? At those words, I felt Shen Youchu glance at me again. He couldn't make it. With that, everyone escorted her toward the reception room. Shen, who had pursued me for years, followed behind. In her formal gown, she seemed more mature and composed than in college. She didn't see me. She was absent-mindedly chatting with Ling Fan. As I stood there quietly, Liu Li grabbed my arm. She lowered her voice and scolded Ling Yu. What are you still doing here? Have you still not given up on Shen? She's your sister-in-law now. I shook her off with a mocking smile. Don't worry. I'm not interested in being the other man. Mr. Ling asked me to stay for a wedding celebration drink. Ever since I was old enough to understand, I had called Ling Zhenin Mr. Ling. Liu Li gritted her teeth in anger. He was only being polite. And you took him seriously. You really don't know your place. At an event like this, even I am not allowed to attend, lest I embarrass the Ling family. Do you, an illegitimate son, deserve a seat at the table? Get out, right now. I frowned impatiently. Just as I was about to speak, I saw Shen Youchu head to the balcony to answer a call. I brushed the Li off, then turned and followed her. The moment I approached, Shen Youchu, who was on the phone, ended the call. Then she looked at me with icy eyes. I stopped short, facing her dangerous gaze. The corner of my mouth curved up. Testing her, I called out, "Wife." Shen Yuchu's gaze turned ice cold. I stared straight at Shen Youchu, watching for her reaction. But when she heard that form of address, the chill around her deepened as she looked at me. There wasn't the slightest flicker of emotion. She turned to leave. I quickly stepped in front of her. "You don't know me." Shen Youchu looked down at me condescendingly. "Move. Should I know you?" "Sir, I'm married. Show some respect." I was completely thrown. She clearly didn't know me, yet she said she was married. Could the marriage registry have recorded the wrong information? "May I ask who your husband is?" "None of your business." For more icy words, I took out the copy of the marriage certificate and held it out to her. "Miss Shen, you're the woman listed here, aren't you?" Shen Yuchu's gaze fell on the husband's name. She mocked. "Mr. Ling, a real certificate isn't expensive, is it? If you're forging one, at least make it convincing." With that, she didn't return to the reception room. Instead, she strode through the small garden toward the parking lot. I chased after her to explain, but the bodyguards stopped me. I shouted after her, "Miss Shen, that certificate is real. If you don't believe me, you can check with the marriage registry." Shen Youchu got into her car and drove away. Her personal assistant stayed behind. I returned to the reception room and ran into Ling Fan. He had just seen me bothering Shen Youchu. His eyes flickered. Ling Zhenin, meanwhile, was deeply worried. "Why did Miss Shen leave? Did we offend her somehow?" Ling Fan clenched his fists, his tone hesitant. "I saw Ling Yu harassing Miss Shen." Miss Shen left in a fury. She also left a message. She said you should keep your family under control. With Ling Yu acting this way, will the Shen family think we have no manners? Ling Zhenin's face instantly darkened. Meanwhile, I lost Shen Youchu while following her on my electric scooter. As I cursed my bad luck, my phone suddenly rang. When I answered, a woman's voice came through. "Boss, I found information on Shen Youchu. Shen Youchu is old Master Shen's second daughter. Rumor has it she's cold-blooded and ruthless. That was why she was sent abroad as a child. Everyone thought the Shen family would be handed to the eldest son, Shen's father. But no one expected Shen Youchu to suddenly return to China last week. No one knows what she used, but she used swift, decisive tactics to force the old man to step down. She took direct control of the Shen group." I frowned and said, "Find her contact details and schedule. Then I'll go see her." After hanging up, I rubbed my brow. This was getting troublesome. With Shen Yuchu's status, seeing her again would be difficult. I shouldn't have run my mouth today and called her my wife. I pissed her off and drove her away. I sighed, started my beat-up scooter, and slowly headed home. I left the bustling downtown district and entered a rundown urban village on the outskirts. When I moved out of the Ling home in middle school, I had very little money. I could only rent an old house here. Later, I got used to it, so I never moved. Just as I turned the corner toward home, an elderly woman in her 80s or 90s suddenly darted out from the roadside. I slammed on the brakes, barely avoiding her. At first, I thought she was staging an accident for money, but I quickly noticed that she was well dressed. A tag hung around her neck, with a contact number on it. At the bottom, it said that if she got lost, call the number listed. A generous reward would be offered. Clearly, the old woman had Alzheimer's disease. I immediately took out my phone and entered the number on her tag. But the vacant-looking old woman before me suddenly grabbed my wrist. Her eyes suddenly brightened. "You're my grandson-in-law." My mouth twitched. I've been single for 22 years. How had I suddenly gained another wife today? I found it amusing and casually asked, "Grandma, who is your granddaughter? What's her name?" "Oh, right. Her surname is Shen." Shen. What was it? The name she had just remembered vanished again the moment she tried to say it. The old woman grew anxious. Her mouth opened and closed, but she couldn't say those words. "Please don't worry, ma'am. It's all right if you can't remember." After reassuring her, I made the call. Meanwhile, on a street not far away, Shen Youchu sat inside a Bentley, her face dark. Her subordinate, Liu Qiang, hardly dared to breathe. I failed to watch her properly. I let the old madam get lost. She said nothing, radiating an icy chill. Most of the time, the old madam was vacant and unresponsive. Who could have expected her to suddenly improve today? After sending everyone away, she slipped out in secret. Only after checking the surveillance footage did they discover that the old madam had taken a bus to the outskirts by herself. This area was run down, and many streets had no surveillance cameras. They could only conduct a block-by-block search. Just then, her phone suddenly rang. Youchu answered immediately. My calm voice came through the line. Hello. Your elderly relative is in my hands. The atmosphere in the car instantly froze. Everyone sprang into action at once. Some prepared to call the police. Liu Qiang also began tracing the caller's signal. Shen Yuchu's gaze sharpened. In an icy voice, she asked, How much do you want? Just kidding. I only wanted to tell you to take better care of her from now on. Then I gave her the address and hung up. 5 minutes later, they arrived where the old woman was. I had already left. Only a police officer was there, waiting with her. Shen Yuchu asked her grandmother, How did you get here? The old madam replied mysteriously, I came to find my granddaughter's husband. He lives nearby. Shen Yuchu paused slightly. Grandma, I don't have a husband. That's impossible. I saw him. That heartless man. He handed me over to the police and left. Oh, right? Give me your phone. Shen Yuchu handed her phone over. The old woman then found in Shen Yuchu's recent calls the number that had just called and wrote it in her little notebook. She said happily, I finally have my granddaughter's husband's number. Early the next morning, I got a call from my university advisor, Professor Wen. The moment I entered his office, I found Ling Fan and Liu Li there too. Ling Fan and I both attended hiking university. He saw himself as an honor student. To avoid overshadowing him, I deliberately chose the least popular major, energy and power engineering. But unexpectedly, new energy suddenly became hugely popular 2 years ago. Ling Fan immediately switched majors, becoming my classmate again. It made sense for Ling Fan to be here. But why was Liu Li here? Just as I wondered that, Professor Wen looked at me solemnly. Ling Yu, your recommendation-based graduate admission has been revoked. Your mother says your character and background are improper. So, you do not meet the requirements for graduate recommendation. Is there some misunderstanding between you and your mother? Go apologize to her quickly. You have a promising future. Do not ruin it over a moment of anger. Ling Fan sighed. Professor Wen, Ling Yu's mother only wants what's best for him. He turned to me. You've offended Miss Shen. Miss Shen said she would make you disappear from hiking. It took me a while to understand that Miss Shen meant Shen Yuchu, but I had only exchanged a few words with her. Besides, before she left yesterday, she did not seem angry at all. Ling Fan, on the other hand, was a habitual liar. As I pondered, Ling Fan walked up to me. Ling Yu, Dad bought this plane ticket for you. He wants you to leave the country until things cool down. Otherwise, even the Ling family cannot protect you. A flash of mockery crossed my eyes. They were just afraid I would drag the Ling family down. When Ling Fan saw that I would not take it, he pulled out a bank card. Are you worried you will not be able to survive overseas? There is 50,000 yuan on this card. I am giving it to you personally for living expenses. Use it for now. If it is not enough, I will give you more when I get my allowance. The Ling family's eldest son only had 50,000 yuan. I found it laughable. But Liu Li suddenly snatched away the bank card. Ling Fan, what are you doing? The Ling family buying him a plane ticket is already more than generous. She glared at me and ordered, pack your things and leave the country immediately. I have already processed your withdrawal from school. I looked at her coldly. What gives you the right to make decisions for me? Because I am your mother. And with your grades, you will be lucky to graduate. You might as well get out and start earning money sooner. Professor Wen could not help speaking up. Ms. Liu, you misunderstand. Student Ling's record at the university. Liu Li cut him off. Professor, you do not need to defend him. Do I not know exactly what he is like? Isn't he applying to graduate school only because Ling Fan is doing it? Why doesn't he take a leak and look at himself in the mirror? Who does he think he is? What makes him worthy of comparing himself to Ling Fan? Professor Wen was left speechless. He looked at Ling Fan in surprise. I recall that you were not recommended for graduate school, nor did you take the graduate entrance exam. Ling Fan smiled modestly. I was admitted through a special selection process. Seeing the professor's curiosity, feigning modesty, he credited Dr. Yu. He successfully developed a hydrogen-based clean fuel and patented it. He was awarded a doctorate. I was stunned. Dr. Yu? How did I not know I was supposed to be specially recruited to repay Mrs. Ling for her kindness? All these years in Dr. Yu's name, I have provided technical support to the Ling family company. I even fabricated a story that he had been a sponsored student. Ling Fan continued spinning lies. My mother sponsored Dr. Yu's education back then. After finishing his studies, Dr. Yu came to our family. He said my mother was his savior. All these years, he has been providing technical support to our company. He probably would not refuse any request I make. Professor Wen believed him. He asked where Dr. Yu worked. I said, the dean will invite Dr. Yu to teach at our university. Professor Wen was overjoyed. He said to me, Ling Yu, your research field is the same as Dr. Yu's. I will introduce you to him then. If Dr. Yu puts in a good word for you, you may still have a shot at guaranteed graduate admission. Feigning concern, Ling Fan asked Professor Wen, is that really appropriate? The Shen family is Haiqing's richest family. They provide our university with substantial research funding every year. Dr. Yu is highly sought after now. If Dr. Yu is willing to step in, the university will surely choose Dr. Yu. Ling Fan sighed. But Dr. Yu is only doing this out of respect for my mother. If it were for me, he would certainly spare no effort to help. But Ling Yu is my father's illegitimate son, so he stands against my mother. Ling Yu, why don't I ask Dr. Yu for you? I declined with a cold laugh. Right now, Ling Fan looked like nothing more than a clown. I said to Professor Wen, Professor Wen, you know, I never wanted to go to graduate school anyway. Liu Li curled her lip. Stop wasting your breath. After offending Miss Shen, he still wants to find work in Haiqing? Keep dreaming. I refuse to believe anyone can control all of Haiqing. If you truly cannot find work, come be my teaching assistant. Professor Wen was furious. Then he turned to me and spoke gently. Warmth filled my heart. Professor, there's only a small misunderstanding between Miss Shen and me. Once it is cleared up, everything will be fine. You do not need to worry. Ling Fan clenched his fist at the sight. In a mocking tone, he said, Ling Yu, are you really going to keep harassing Miss Shen? She is already married. What you are doing is truly disgraceful. As expected, Liu Li flew into a rage. She slapped me hard across the face. I stared at Liu Li in disbelief. I never expected her to do it in front of Professor Wen, striking me without warning. Liu Li showed no guilt whatsoever. She pointed at my nose and cursed. After all these years, you have forgotten the rules of this family. Apologize to your brother immediately. Promise you will never see anyone from the Shen family again. The warmth slowly drained from my eyes, leaving only icy coldness. It seemed my final warning that day had meant nothing to her. Did she still see me as that meek boy who endured everything? That ignorant boy who put Ling Fan above all else? Since reason would not get through to them, then they could not blame me for showing no mercy. Ling Fan watched from the side, a surge of satisfaction rising within him. When I was young, I groveled before him. I never talked back when insulted or fought back when it. Later, after I moved away, I ran into him again at university. I still looked as poor and shabby as ever, yet I dared stand tall before him. A few years without a beating, and he had forgotten his place. Today, I will have Liu Li teach him a lesson. Just as Ling Fan thought that, he saw me slowly walk up to him. Just as his lips curled, thinking I was about to apologize, I suddenly looked up. My fist slammed hard into his face. Ling Fan's head spun, and the blow left him dazed. Liu Li charged over with an angry roar. Ling Yu, how dare you hit him? I whipped my head around. A murderous aura radiated from me. My expression froze Liu Li where she stood. What are you going to do? You ungrateful brat. I am your mother. Are you going to lay a hand on me too? My voice was ice cold. I said, word by word, you have failed as a mother. So, do not blame me for failing as a son. Do not meddle in my life again. If you ever do anything to me again, I will make Ling Fan pay for it twice over. I looked away. I gave Professor Wen a deep bow, thanking him for caring for me over the past 4 years. I told him I would return once I had settled my affairs. With that said, I turned and left without hesitation. Only after I disappeared from the room did Liu Li slowly come back to her senses. The moment I stepped outside the university gates, Jiu called. Boss, I figured it out. I know why Shen Youchu claims she is married, yet does not know you. The Shen family may look glorious from the outside, but their internal power struggle has been vicious these past few years. The old master favors his eldest son's family. He wants to hand the Shen family over to the eldest branch. As the youngest daughter, Shen Youchu has always been suppressed. A few years ago, the old master picked several unsuitable men for Shen Youchu, intending to marry her off for an alliance. It caused a huge uproar, until Shen Youchu said she had already registered her marriage to a husband from an ordinary family. The matter was finally dropped, and her supposed husband is rather interesting too. He has never appeared in public, nor attended any Shen family banquet. Putting it all together, there is only one truth. The answer is, Jiu drew out the words, trying to build suspense. But before she could say it, I had already understood. Did you find her schedule and contact information? Jiu was caught off guard. Awkwardly, she said, I found her schedule for the next few days. I will send it to you shortly. Her private number could not be found. That is fine. I will intercept her myself. For someone of Shen Youchu's status, a private phone number is highly confidential. It is normal that you could not find it. Jiu immediately asked eagerly. She is surrounded by bodyguards. She will not be easy to approach. Are you planning to use force? Or lie low for now? A roguish smile curled across my lips. Outside Shen Group, I adjusted my courier uniform, then walked in carrying a delivery box. I told the receptionist, this delivery is for Miss Shen. She must sign for it herself. After the receptionist called the secretarial office, I was allowed upstairs. I entered the private elevator and arrived at the 88th floor. As I stepped out of the elevator, the view suddenly opened up. The secretarial office occupied the floor. More than 100 people worked there, all serving Shen Youchu alone. I followed the secretary who came to meet me and smoothly reached the president's office. I knocked on the door. A pleasant voice came from inside. Come in. Just as I thought I would finally see Shen Youchu, someone suddenly blocked my way. Stop. Liu Qiang frowned as he looked me over. Mr. Ling, why are you here? Liu Qiang looked displeased. He still remembered me harassing Shen Youchu at the Ling residence yesterday. Shen Youchu had not held it against me. Yet today, I had pushed my luck by posing as a courier to come harass her again. He waved over to bodyguards. What is going on? Without verifying someone's identity, are any random nobodies allowed onto the top floor now? Get him out of here immediately. My expression did not change. What do you mean by that? Does Shen Group look down on couriers? Liu Qiang sneered. You really know how to turn the tables. We respect every profession. But, are you really a courier? Do you have a courier ID? No sooner had Liu Qiang finished speaking than an ID was thrust in front of him. His expression stiffened. Do not tell me you registered today. The ID in front of him was opened, showing its registration date. Liu Qiang was stunned. You really were a courier 8 years ago. Is there anything wrong with working my way through school? My voice was lazy. I called into the office. Miss Shen, you can sign for your delivery now. A voice came from inside. In a pleasant tone, she said, let him in. I shot Liu Qiang a provocative glance. Seeing that he was about to lose his temper, I finally walked around him and entered. Shen Youchu's office was sleek and understated, making the room feel utterly cold. After signing the documents before her, Shen Youchu finally looked up. No emotion showed in her bright eyes. I pointed to the delivery slip. Miss Shen, sign here. Her gaze lingered on me for a moment. Then she took the pen and signed. Then I suddenly asked a startling question. Miss Shen, you are not married at all, are you? Her pen stopped abruptly, and she suddenly looked up, her icy gaze locking onto mine. I knew I had guessed right. When marriage records are registered, personal information must be filled in by hand. There was no way it could be wrong. Yet Shen Youchu publicly claimed to be married, while not knowing me at all. After months of investigation, the only possible truth was this. To fend off her family's pressure to marry, Shen Youchu had invented a fake husband for the public. She had never been to the marriage registry. That was why she did not know we were married. I said earnestly, Miss Shen, I know. This sounds unbelievable, but we really are married. Shen Youchu slowly sat upright with composed elegance. A hint of amusement appeared on her face. Mr. Ling, do not waste your effort. Even if I were unmarried, I would never marry you just to discuss Shen. I was slightly taken aback. She only knew about my past with Shen. She thought I had come to her for revenge, which was why she had never believed me. I hurriedly explained, I did not come to you because of Shen. I want to divorce you. I am not interested in your romantic entanglements. Shen Youchu cut me off. She quickly finished signing and handed me the delivery slip. Do not harass me again. Otherwise, do not blame me for being ruthless. That made my temper flare too. Haven't you already been hostile enough toward me? You even said you would make me disappear from hiking. Shen Youchu frowned. When did I ever say? Before she could finish, her phone suddenly rang. It was the special ringtone for her grandmother. She answered at once. The caregiver's voice came through. Miss Shen, your grandmother is missing again. Shen Youchu hurried out anxiously. I wanted to chase after her and explain myself, but Liu Qiang stopped me again. Mr. Ling, I advise you to stop here. And so, I was escorted out of Shen group. Just as I reached my door, I suddenly turned around. There was the elderly woman I had met before, sneaking behind me on tiptoe. I looked helpless. Just as I was about to speak, the little old lady grabbed my wrist. Grandson-in-law, do not think you can abandon me again. Inside my rented apartment, the old lady sat at the dining table and drank 3 glasses of water in a row. Frowning, I said seriously, I truly am not your grandson-in-law. You are. The little old lady was utterly stubborn. Clutching her cup, she gulped down another glass. I knew I could not reason with her. I took out my phone and dialed the number from last time. It was answered after 1 ring. Hello. The woman's voice sounded vaguely familiar. Just as I was about to speak, the old lady suddenly snatched away my phone. Meanwhile, Youchu was leading a group of people searching nearby. She looked calm on the surface, but inwardly, she was anxious. Her grandmother had more than Alzheimer's disease. At 87 years old, every organ in her body had already begun to deteriorate. Her life could be in danger at any moment. The moment her phone rang, she answered immediately. Then, her grandmother's strong, booming voice came through. You little brat, do not come get me. I am with my grandson-in-law. This is the number of that boy from last time. So grandma was with him again. Youchu asked, her face dark. Where are you? I am not telling you. Do you think I cannot find you just because you will not tell me? You are not allowed to come looking for me. And do not send anyone to track me down. Youchu scratched her head, covering the receiver. She quietly asked the attending doctor, given the old madam's condition, can we bring her back by force? The doctor shook his head. He quietly replied, the old madam cannot endure any stimulation right now. It is best to indulge her wishes. That boy from last time does not seem like a bad person either. Youchu looked helpless. She coaxed into the phone again. Grandma, I still need to bring you your medicine. No need to bring medicine. I have it with me. Do not worry. Just wait for me to lure my grandson-in-law home. After saying that, the little old lady hung up immediately. She returned my phone to me, looking smug. Grandson-in-law, it is settled. I was utterly bewildered. What kind of unreliable family was this? They had simply left an old woman with a stranger. Just as I was about to call again, my messaging app chimed. Someone had sent me a contact request using my phone number. The message read, the old lady's granddaughter. I accepted her contact request. The granddaughter quickly sent a message. Please take care of my grandmother for a while. Her health has been poor lately, and she cannot be upset. I gave a cold laugh. Holding my phone, I replied coldly, that will not work. This is not a charity. Before I could finish typing, I suddenly heard movement from the kitchen. I hurried over, only to find the old lady boiling eggs. I casually asked, are you hungry? Eggs are not enough for a meal. On the little old lady's wrinkled face, a kind smile appeared. Grandson-in-law, rub a warm egg over your face. It will reduce the swelling. I froze. Perhaps even I had not realized it. But after my biological mother slapped me today, though I seemed not to care, I had actually been shrouded in an icy chill. It had cut me off from the world. But the old woman's words now melted that chill away, and warmth returned to my eyes. Then I looked back at my phone, and saw the granddaughter's chat window suddenly light up orange. A transfer of 300,000 yuan had come through. The note read, 1 week's living expenses. Tell me if it is not enough. I looked at my unfinished reply, and rewrote it. All right. I did not understand why I had suddenly decided to meddle. It had to be because she was paying too much. Meanwhile, at the Ling residence, Ling Fan's cheek was badly swollen, with a fist mark clearly visible. Liu Li lowered her head. That little bastard, Ling Yu, must be jealous that you are going to marry Miss Shen. When your father gets back, have him teach that brat a harsh lesson. Just then, Li Xia came downstairs despite her illness. Her voice was weak, but her tone was firm. Ling Yu is not that kind of person. You must have done something to anger him first. Seeing this, Ling Fan was unwilling to let it go, but changed the subject. Can you invite Dr. Yu to be a mentor at Hiking University? Madam Ling immediately refused sternly. Ling Fan, you cannot use favors to demand repayment. Besides, over all these years, Dr. Yu has done more than enough for our company. Ling Fan was not surprised at all. Hiking University is the best university around here. Perhaps Dr. Yu wants to go there himself. We could help put him in touch with the school. It would also repay Dr. Yu for all his help over the years. Madam Ling found that reasonable. So she took out her phone and opened the messaging app. Then I will ask him. Ling Fan sat beside Madame Ling and said, Dr. Yu has done so much for our family. Any debt of gratitude has long been repaid. Should we not host a dinner for him? Would it not be better to ask him in person then? Dr. Yu never refused Madame Ling anything, as long as he came. Ling Fan could ask to become his graduate student, and Dr. Yu would surely not refuse. Madame Ling was persuaded. She messaged Dr. Yu on the app. Xiao Yu, have time to come by the house. When I saw the message, my heart leaped into my throat. Why did Madame Ling suddenly want to see me? Could her health be failing? Thinking of Madame Ling's cough, I became frantic with worry. I got up and headed outside. I am free. I will come over now. But just as I rushed to leave, Madame Ling's message arrived. No need to come now. Are you working overtime on Saturday? I simply want to treat you to a meal. Only then did I realize that worry had clouded my judgment, remembering how I had been driven out of the Ling family 10 years ago. A bitter smile touched my lips. After all these years, it was time to meet again. I replied, I should be the one treating you. Saturday evening at 6. I will see you then. Then I sent her the restaurant location. After I exited my chat with Madame Ling, I found several messages from Shen Youchu. They contained instructions on caring for her grandmother. Seeing that, I quietly entered the spare bedroom and recorded a short video for Shen Youchu. On a street nearby, two fully equipped luxury vans were parked discreetly. Shen Youchu sat on a sofa, working on a laptop. Just then, her messaging app chimed. Shen Youchu picked up her phone and looked at it. Then, her perpetually icy expression showed a flicker of surprise. The family doctor immediately asked, did something happen to the old madam? Shen Youchu pressed her lips together and handed him the video. The old madam lay on a bed with small floral sheets, sleeping peacefully. It was only 9 at night. Normally, if the old madam fell asleep before 1 in the morning, it was a miracle. The family doctor looked utterly stunned. The old madam truly treats this young man differently. If we can have him stay by her side, the old madam's health will surely improve. Shen Yuchu's gaze darkened. She seemed to be contemplating something. The next morning, I received a message from Shen Youchu. After a few exchanges, Shen Youchu began to feel as if she were talking to an old friend. She suddenly asked if she could visit Grandma tonight. Of course, you are welcome anytime. Then I sent her the exact address. Outside, I was waiting in utter boredom when a familiar voice suddenly rang out. I turned and met a familiar face. It was Shen. The face I remembered as gentle and considerate was now glaring at me darkly. Back in college, I was always alone. While Shen was warm and outgoing, she was always by my side. My only friend, really. But our positions now were rather awkward. I hesitated, then asked, what is it? Shen sneered. Ling Fan told me about your background. Why did you hide it from me? While I, like an idiot, chased someone like you for years. Was that fun for you? It felt as though a huge hand had clenched around my heart. I never thought for years of friendship could be shattered so easily. I stepped back, putting distance between us. But Shen stepped forward and demanded, do you have nothing to explain to me? I gave a mocking laugh. No. Having said that, I turned to leave. If she looked down on where I came from, then she was not worth keeping as a friend. My resolute manner inexplicably irritated Shen. As she watched me get farther away, she grabbed my wrist without thinking. You cannot leave. I turned back to look at her. What else do you want? Shen's face tightened. Anger surged in her heart. She had clearly been the one to let go first. Why did it feel as though she was the one being abandoned? Then I heard her mocking voice again. You are still working part-time here. That means you have not found a proper job, right? Why not become my personal assistant? I pulled free of her grip and refused coldly. I am afraid I am not qualified. But Shen persisted. You will not have to do any real work. I have an apartment near the company. You only need to live there and take care of my daily needs. I will pay you 50,000 yuan a month. Is that enough? My gaze instantly turned icy. You want me to be your lover on the side? Shen scoffed. You would be perfect for that. After all, your mother was a mistress. You grew up surrounded by it, so it runs in the family. I am sure you would be a professional. At that, I threw her to the ground. I looked down at her coldly. Enough. Yet once she got back to her feet, rather than getting angry, she smiled. I will give you time to think it over. Come find me whenever you change your mind. After leaving those words behind, Shen left. I gave a self-mocking smile. That evening, Shen Youchu got off work on time and arrived in the suburbs at an old residential complex. She carried a bag of fruit and knocked on the door at the address from the app. The old madam looked quite healthy. Only then did Shen Youchu look around. Though it was only a modest 6-100-50- square foot to bedroom apartment, it was exceptionally neat and cozy. But the sound of running shower water came from the bathroom. Shen Youchu jerked her gaze away as if she had been electrocuted. The family doctor followed behind her and was about to enter, but Shen Youchu stopped him. "Give me the equipment. Wait in the car." Shen Youchu quickly checked the old woman's blood pressure, blood sugar, heart rate, and more. Perhaps the old woman had slept so well the night before. Every reading was remarkably healthy. The old woman said proudly, "My grandson-in-law takes wonderful care of me." Seeing it for herself, Shen Youchu finally relaxed. Her gaze flicked toward the bathroom once more. At last, she packed up the equipment. "Since you are fine, I will leave now." The old woman was startled. "Will you not stay for dinner? My grandson-in-law is an excellent cook. It would not be appropriate." Shen Youchu set down the medical equipment. "Leave this here." The old woman's eyes darted. "Take it with you. My grandson-in-law would not know how to use it anyway. Besides, I do not want Dr. Xiaofeng coming here. I want you to come check on me every day." Shen Youchu was about to say something when the water in the bathroom suddenly stopped. She immediately rose to her feet, then hurried out in a panic, medical case in hand. "I will be going now. I will come back tomorrow." The moment the door closed, I came out of the bathroom, already dressed. "Where is your granddaughter?" She left, saying it was not appropriate. "She is just a proper, and she always has such a sour expression." "Grandson-in-law, is that why you do not like her? She can change." "I am not your grandson-in-law. You are." I suddenly felt helpless. Over the past 2 days, I found the old woman to be very kind. She indulged me in everything, except she was stubborn about this one matter. A few days later, the old woman suddenly said she wanted to go home for some clothes. So I messaged her granddaughter and asked for the address. But when I opened the location, I froze. No. One manor. Was that not the Shen residence? It was Haiqing's most famous wealthy enclave. I had thought the old woman's home was one of those small villas. I never dared to think it was the Shen family. But after arriving at our destination, I looked up at the antique-style gate before me. Its imposing black gates carved with exquisite patterns. I hesitated. "Grandma, is this your home?" The old woman looked drowsy, her gaze slightly vacant. "Grandson-in-law, I cannot remember." Helplessly, I had to message her granddaughter. Her granddaughter replied at once. "Wait where you are. I will be right there." Before long, a luxury car pulled up in front of us. Ling Fan and Liu Li stepped out of the back seat and rushed toward us. Liu Li frowned deeply. "Ling Yu, it really is you. What are you doing here?" Today, she had come as a housekeeper to accompany Ling Fan on his visit to the Shen family. From afar, she had seen someone lingering outside the Shen residence. She had not expected it to actually be me. Ling Fan looked at the tightly shut gates. "Ling Yu, are you pestering Miss Shen Youchu again?" The moment he said that, Liu Li shouted furiously, "You wretch! Do you even know what day this is? Get out of here now. If you ruin Ling Fan's engagement, I will never let you get away with it." Though I was truly sick of them, the old woman was here, and I did not want to fight with them. So I swallowed my irritation and explained, "I am taking the old woman home." "We took a wrong turn," Ling Fan blurted out instinctively. "Is that not your wife's grandmother? How could she possibly live in this neighborhood?" I shot back. "Why not?" But Liu Li cursed at me. "Who are you trying to fool? How could your poor wife's grandmother live here?" She turned directly to the old woman. "You old hack. Then tell me, which villa do you live in?" I frowned at her words, about to speak, but the old woman suddenly stood up. "I remember now. I live right here. Grandson-in-law, come home with me." She grabbed my hand and headed toward the Shen residence gates. We were still 100 meters from the gates, but after only 2 steps, Ling Fan spoke up. "Ling Yu, after all those excuses, you are still using this old woman as a shield to get into the Shen residence." I stopped dead in my tracks, then stared sharply ahead. The Shen family. The sight of those imposing gates had already stirred vague suspicions in me, but I could not reconcile the granddaughter on WeChat, so polite and refined, with the cold, ruthless Shen Youchu. Maybe the old woman had remembered wrong. Just as I was about to confirm it, Liu Li suddenly charged over and lunged for the old woman. "You are not going to cause trouble at the Shen residence." Startled, I shielded the old woman with one hand and grabbed Liu Li with the other, shoving her away. "What are you doing?" Liu Li staggered back repeatedly. Once she regained her footing, she immediately cursed, "Ungrateful brat. You hit your own mother for an old hag like her. I am calling the police." I ignored her and hurriedly looked at the old woman. No one had ever insulted her like that. Sure enough, she was trembling with rage. She pressed a hand to her chest, her body shaking uncontrollably. I quickly supported her and pulled her fast-acting heart medicine from her pocket. But when I opened the bottle, it was empty. My pupils contracted. The old woman's health was frail, unless absolutely necessary. Chest compressions could be too risky for her. Medication was best. I turned sharply toward the gates. The Shen family had to have medicine. Even if she was not one of them, she was still their neighbor. They would not leave her to die. I picked up the old woman, but Ling Fang grabbed my arm hard. "Ling Yu, do not do this. The Shen family will not let you in." He looked at the old woman, a dark glint flashing in his eyes. At that moment, I was furious enough to lose my mind. Rage churned violently in my eyes. I kicked him to the ground, but the next second, someone tightly clung to my leg. Liu Li sat on the ground, clinging to me with all her strength, without a shred of dignity. I shook with fury, worried about the old woman in my arms. I could not break free. Just then, a black Bentley slowly pulled up. Shen Youchu got out. She demanded sharply, "What are you doing?" Ling Fang quickly said, "Miss Shen, it is Ling Yu. He insists on bringing a dying old woman to the Shen residence to run a scam. It is my fault I could not stop him." At those words, when Shen Youchu saw I was holding her grandmother, her pupils suddenly constricted. She strode toward us. Her grandmother was the person closest to her. The old woman's health had worsened year after year. Shen Youchu was clearly panicked beyond measure. I had no time to explain. I urgently said, "The old madam is having a heart attack. She has just run out of the medicine she carries. She will be fine if she gets medicine in time." Shen Youchu pressed her lips together, took her grandmother, and rushed into the Shen residence without looking back. I could not follow her inside, because Liu Li was still clutching my leg. Ling Fan was still questioning the old woman's identity. But Liu Li let me go, brushed off the dust and sneered, "Is this not why you dragged that old hag to the Shen residence?" Just then, the Shen residence gates opened, and Shen walked out. Ling Fan fawned over her. "Sister Shen, you could have waited for me in the parking lot. Why did you come all the way to the gates?" Shen forced a hint of gentleness into her expression. "I was afraid you would get lost on your first visit." She then looked at me. Her earlier warmth instantly turned dark and fierce. "You came looking for me. Have you finally come to your senses?" I kept a grim face and said nothing. "If you have, you could have simply called me. Who allowed you to come to the Shen residence? Do you think a bastard like you can enter the Shen residence?" Shen let out a cold laugh. "But if you really want to see the place, I can allow it." "Sister, you have misunderstood." Ling Fan cut in. "Ling Yu is waiting for his wife's grandmother. The old lady just suffered a sudden heart attack. Miss Shen Youchu carried her inside for emergency treatment." Shen's eyes suddenly reddened. She gritted her teeth. "What? Wife Ling Yu? Who is that woman?" I looked at her mockingly. Shen, who my wife is none of your business." "How is it none of my business? I would like to see, without my consent, who would dare marry you." Ling Fan quickly answered. "Ling Yu's mother says she is some delinquent girl." Shen clenched her fists. "You would degrade yourself like this? Fine. A bastard and a delinquent are a perfect match." Ling Fan continued to stir the pot. "Ling Yu must be unwilling to accept it too. That is why he keeps harassing Miss Shen Youchu." I gave a cold scoff. "Ling Fan, you call yourself the Ling family's eldest young master. Why is your mind always full of such sordid, filthy thoughts? Is that all you can think about?" Ling Fan's expression froze. He clenched his fists. "I know you are doing this to get revenge on Sister Shen and me. But Miss Shen Youchu is already married. You should not destroy someone else's marriage." Hearing this, Shen was furious. She had spent the past 2 days waiting for my call, thinking that if I gave in and begged, she might let me off the hook. So I had already found someone else. At that thought, she flared up at once. "I knew it. Why else would your wife's grandmother suffer a heart attack outside my house? You came here to find my aunt, Ling Yu. How can you be so shameless?" She was beside herself with rage. Pointing at me, she ordered the guard. "Did you get a good look? Remember this face. Do not let him take another step into the Shen residence." Ling Fan lowered his head, hiding the smug smile at his lips. Within the Shen family, Shen still had some authority. But the next moment, the Shen family's head butler came out from inside. His gaze swept over everyone. Then he came to me. Mr. Ling, Miss Shen Youchu requests your presence inside. Ling Fan was stunned. Shen stood dumbfounded. I looked up at the guard with a faint, knowing smile. So, may I enter now? The guard carefully glanced at Shen, then opened the gate without hesitation. He knew perfectly well who called the shots. At the Shen residence. Once inside, Shen and the others followed behind. Liu Li glared at me. Miss Shen Youchu probably only asked you to pick up your grandmother. Once you have her, have the sense to leave immediately. Do not dirty the Shen family's carpets. With that, they all entered the living room. At first glance, they saw old Madame Shen seated regally in the place of honor on the sofa. The old woman glared at them. You wicked woman. Who are you calling an animal? The old woman had changed into elegant clothes, but her complexion was still poor. Shen Youchu sat coldly to her left. Liu Li stood frozen in place. Ling Fan's legs went weak, and he nearly collapsed to the floor. Fortunately, Shen caught him. What is wrong with you? Ling Fan's hands were trembling. He suddenly gave a bitter laugh. Ling Yu, why did you lie to me? You said old Madame Shen was your wife's grandmother, making us disrespect the old madam. In an instant, I felt several suspicious gazes in the room turned toward me. Liu Li caught on as well. You knew the old madam has dementia, yet you still dared to deceive her. What do you take the Shen family for? Get on your knees and apologize at once. My gaze darkened. Were they trying to pin every mistake on me? Ling Fan took the chance to clear his own name. What a clever move. Smack. The old woman hurled a teacup at her. It struck Liu Li directly. Scalding tea splashed all over her. Yet Liu Li did not dare cry out. Insolent fool. The old madam snapped. He is my granddaughter's husband. Enduring the pain of the burn, Liu Li said, Old madam, you have been deceived by him. I am certain his wife is just a delinquent. There is no need to argue. Why not ask the person involved? Shen's mother spoke up from the side. Youchu, is he really your husband? I silently looked at Shen Youchu. Then I heard the answer I had expected. No. What an ungrateful woman, repaying kindness with malice. A flash of anger crossed my eyes. Ling Fan, however, looked delighted. He immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Liu Li curled her lip. I told you so. This was all Ling Yu's doing. I gave a cold laugh, just as I was about to speak. The woman's voice rang out again. Grandma mistook him for her grandson-in-law. So I asked Mr. Ling Yu to help care for Grandma. For a while, everyone fell silent. No one expected things to turn out this way. After a long moment, Ling Fin lowered his head. So that is what happened. Ling Yu, why did you not tell us the truth? If you had told us sooner, this misunderstanding would not have happened. Mr. Ling Fin. Shen Youchu reclined against the sofa. Her posture was relaxed, but she spoke with imposing authority. When trouble rises, you hide behind others and shirk responsibility. Is this how the Ling family teaches its younger generation? Her words made old Madame Shen see clearly. She immediately snapped. You think that because my mind is failing, I cannot see through your little tricks? You make mistakes without remorse, then try to shift the blame elsewhere. You two are truly shameless. Old Madame Shen looked directly at Shen. Call off the engagement. I will not accept him as my great-grandson-in-law. Ling Fan trembled all over. He had worked so long to secure this marriage. He could not let it disappear like this. He then looked at Shen, only to find her staring blankly. Her eyes remained fixed on me. Clearly, she had not recovered from the shock of learning I was married. Ling Fan clenched his fists. With his head lowered, he walked to Shen. Sister Shen, this is my fault. Do not worry. Even if the engagement is called off, I will still introduce you to the person I promised. Shen came back to her senses. Ling Fan was still going to introduce her to Dr. Yu. In China's new energy sector, Dr. Yu was among the very best. She hurriedly said to old Madame Shen, Great-grandma, Ling Fan did not know any better. Please forgive him. Besides, the families have already exchanged betrothal gifts. It would be difficult to call off the engagement now. Old Madame Shen gave her a long look. Do as you wish. Her great-granddaughter's affairs were for her parents to decide. She did not wish to interfere further. But Shen's mother smiled. Grandma, have you forgotten the engagement gift? At those words, old Madame Shen immediately lowered her eyelids. I will have 180,000 yuan transferred to Shen. Shen's mother's expression stiffened. But did you not previously say you would give them, the young couple, 2% of the shares? You were worried they might be short of money as newlyweds. If anyone was the wealthiest person in the Shen family, it was undoubtedly old Madame Shen. She came from a powerful family in the capital. Her dowry had been substantial, and she controlled 20% of the Shen family shares. Shen's mother had long intended to use this marriage to get a hefty sum out of her. It had all been agreed upon, but the old madam changed her mind at the last minute. Old Madam Shen looked at her with a faint, mocking smile. I am not satisfied with this great-grandson-in-law, so I will not give it. Ling Fan's face went deathly pale. He felt utterly humiliated. There were plenty of servants in the Shen household. Word of this would surely spread. Soon, all of Hiking would know that the old madam despised him. Prominent families valued their reputations above all else. Today, the old madam had truly dragged his pride and ground it beneath her feet. But the little old lady could not care less about any of that. After saying that, she took me by the hand and led Shen Youchu and me to her courtyard. Then she made an excuse to leave, telling Shen Youchu to entertain her grandson-in-law properly. Then she hurried away with her attendants. In the blink of an eye, only Shen Youchu and I remained in the courtyard. Shen Youchu and I stood side by side in the night. Just as I was wondering how to begin, Shen Youchu suddenly looked at me, her eyes full of disdain. You need a good beating not to be outdone. I stared at her seriously as well. You silly girl. Shen Youchu's face turned livid. He had actually sweet-talked Grandma into saying even that. His intentions were clearly impure. Perhaps Grandma latching onto him had been an accident. There was no sign of a scheme in it. But this man had kindly taken Grandma in. Perhaps because Grandma had accidentally revealed her identity. I shot back at her, without forgetting the real reason I was here. I remember you said in your message that you would help me with something. Then can you come with me to the Civil Affairs Bureau to check our marital status? Shen Youchu's face darkened. She snapped impatiently. Fine, let us go. If it is not true, I expect you to stop using Grandma to harass me. The little old lady poked her head out the window. Hey, you little brat. Are you bullying my grandson-in-law? Shen Youchu's expression froze at once. No, dinner was simple. 4 dishes and a soup. Just enough for the 3 of us. But the little old lady had little appetite. After only a few bites, she put down her chopsticks. Grandson-in-law, I am tired. Let us go home. Please do not wear yourself out. You should rest at home tonight. This small courtyard was like a miniature nursing home. It was fully equipped with medical devices. But the old lady nervously grabbed my hand. Then can you stay and keep me company? I frowned and glanced at Shen Youchu. Truthfully, I was worried about the little old lady too. But that damn woman despised me so much. She suspected I was using the old lady to get close to her. She surely would not agree. Shen Youchu fell silent for a moment. Fine. Then she gave me a meaningful look. Clearly, she was only agreeing for Grandma's sake, warning me not to get any improper ideas. After dinner, I helped the old lady back to her room to rest. The old lady must have been exhausted today. She had suffered another episode too. The moment she lay down, she drifted into a dazed sleep. She slept very restlessly. Helpless, I could only sit by her bed and keep her company. Outside the window, Shen Youchu looked grave. What is happening to Grandma? The family doctor had studied psychology. He sighed. Although I do not know why the old madam is so certain about this young man, I can more or less guess why she is so anxious and so afraid her grandson-in-law will leave. Then the family doctor looked at Shen Youchu again. The old madam likely feels she will not make it through this year. She fears that after she is gone, you will have no ties left in this world. A grandson-in-law is the only person she can leave behind to be with you. Shen Youchu froze slightly. In her dark eyes, uncontainable emotions churned. Only after a long while did they settle once more. She stood in the moonlight, as though she might completely merge with the darkness behind her. After an unknown amount of time, she suddenly turned around and strode toward the main house. Ling Fan had a miserable dinner. He had just lost 2% of the shares. Shen's mother, Liu Mijin, was deeply displeased. Every word she said to him was barbed. Is Ling Yu not your family's illegitimate son? How come he can win over the old madam, but you cannot? Ling Fan could only lower his head and apologize. Annie, I am not as sweet-talking or good at charming people as Ling Yu. Liu Mijin scoffed. I do not care what method you use. You must get those 2% of shares back for me. Otherwise, do not dream of marrying into the Shen family. Ling Fan had grievances he could not voice. After finally getting through dinner, he was finally able to excuse himself. But before he could leave, Shen Youchu returned. The moment she entered, an overwhelming pressure filled the room. After sweeping her gaze over the cold leftovers on the table, her expression turned even darker. Grandma had not eaten anything tonight, yet they were here enjoying themselves together. Seeing her expression, Liu Mijin did not dare say a word. It was Shen's father, Shen Yuanji, who frowned and asked, Youchu, why are you here? Shen Youchu ignored this nominal older brother. Her gaze settled on Ling Fan. Since the engagement has not been called off, he is now considered part of the Shen family, right? And as a Shen family member, he must follow the Shen family's rules. He defied an elder today. His punishment is to kneel at the ancestral hall all night, without allowing any argument. Shen Youchu gestured behind her. Two bodyguards stepped in front of Ling Fan. Young Master Ling, this way. Ling Fan looked pleadingly at Shen, but she did not dare defy the woman in power. He took a deep breath, and could only follow the bodyguards. Before leaving, he heard Shen ask her aunt, what about Ling Yu? Has he left? Then came Shen Yuchu's warning reply. He is my guest. He is staying at the Shen residence tonight. Ling Fan followed the bodyguards to the ancestral hall. Miss Shen gave orders. You have not married yet, so you cannot enter the Shen ancestral hall. Kneel outside instead. Outside was a hard blue brick floor. Ling Fan wanted to say something else, but the two bodyguards stood with their hands behind their backs, watching young Master Ling coldly. The night was freezing. Ling Fan shivered uncontrollably from the cold. A bone-piercing chill spread from his knees into the cracks of his bones. He wanted to slack off, but the two bodyguards watched him like stone guardians. They said nothing, yet sent chills down his spine. When I woke the next day, I was already lying in bed, with a small pink blanket draped over me. It did not match the decor of the little old lady's room. I did not think much of it. After getting up and washing up, I had breakfast with the little old lady and Shen Youchu. There was a plate of fried sweet cakes on the table. The little old lady immediately picked one up. Shen Youchu frowned. Grandma has high blood sugar. She should not eat something so oily and sugary. As Shen Youchu considered how to stop her, she heard me say calmly, Grandma, this sweet cake is not good for you. Then the greedy, stubborn little old lady placed the sweet cake into my bowl. The little old lady smiled ingratiatingly. Grandson-in-law, I picked it out for you. Shen Youchu gave me a scrutinizing look. She could not understand why Grandma listened to me so obediently. Without hesitation, I began eating the sweet bun. Then I looked at Shen Youchu. Oh, right. When we go to the Civil Affairs Bureau later, you will need your identification and household register. The little old lady asked curiously, what are you going to the Civil Affairs Bureau for? Our marriage certificates are missing. But the moment I said that, the little old lady said, they are not missing. She hurried into the bedroom, and soon returned with 2 red marriage certificates. She handed them to Shen Youchu and me. I stared dumbfoundedly at the marriage certificate in my hand. Then I suddenly realized something. The little old lady had called me grandson-in-law the first time she met me. She had known all along that we were married. I felt I had caught a thread of the truth, and immediately asked Grandma, why do you have our marriage certificates? The little old lady froze. Her eyes turned hazy. I cannot remember. Then how did Miss Shen and I get married? The little old lady kept shaking her head. I do not remember. I grew a little anxious. Grandma, please try to remember. Enough. Shen Youchu gave a cold scoff. She stepped forward and placed herself between the little old lady and me. Her eyes were icy as she looked at me. Mr. Ling, this certificate is real. Are you going to say next that we do not need to visit the Civil Affairs Bureau? So this was your plan all along. First, you used a trip to the Civil Affairs Bureau as an excuse to openly pester me. Then you baited Grandma into bringing out this fake certificate, so she would believe it was real. I sensed a faint killing intent in the woman's voice. I found it utterly baffling. We do not have to go today. After all, a divorce cannot be handled with one visit to the Civil Affairs Bureau. For 2 years, we have been legally married. There are many property division issues involved. We need to sign a divorce agreement first. No, Shen Youchu said. She studied me closely, only to see me pause in surprise. Before saying helplessly, it is up to you. Was his acting just that convincing? Or was the marriage certificate actually real? Shen Youchu suddenly was not so sure. She simply picked up the marriage certificate and headed out first. I will wait for you in the parking lot. I gave the little old lady a reassuring smile. As soon as we reached the parking lot, we saw Yu Li supporting a pale-faced Ling Fan. When she saw me come out, she stormed over self-righteously. You must help your brother, Ling Fan. You are an illegitimate son, but the Ling family did not hold your birth against you. They raised you. Even if you will not credit them for their achievements, at least credit their efforts. You should repay the Ling family. I had heard this brainwashing for 20 years. Now, I only found it laughable. When Liu Li saw that I remained silent, she seized the chance to say, Now that you are grown, you finally have the chance to repay the Ling family. Ling Yu, does old Madam Shen not listen to you? Go tell her to return those 2% of shares to your brother. I suddenly laughed after hearing that. I am only a lowly illegitimate son. How could old Madam Shen possibly listen to me? Liu Li froze. She wanted to say more, but I had already strode past her and climbed directly into Shen Youchu's car. The car soon arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau. The moment it stopped, Liu Qiang hurriedly chased after us. Boss, the driver said you drove off alone. I was so worried that I followed your location here. Did something happen? Shen Youchu was characteristically terse. Why did you come here? Could Ling Yu really have harassed you into becoming paranoid? Do not worry. I said it already. He will never see you again. Otherwise, I will eat shit live on stream. I sat in the backseat. My voice lazy. Which livestream channel is yours? Liu Qiang stiffened. The three of us then entered the service hall. Liu Qiang asked first, hello. I would like to ask, can a marriage certificate be issued if one person is not present? That is absolutely not possible. The staff member replied. Liu Qiang looked at me mockingly. Did you hear that? You even prepared fake certificates. I am calling the police right now. I will report you for forgery and harassment. But Shen Youchu handed over the certificate. Please verify whether this marriage certificate is genuine. After checking the records, the staff member replied, this certificate is genuine. How is that possible? Did you enter the information incorrectly? Liu Qiang cried out. What nonsense are you talking about? Marriage is a serious matter. Both parties must have their identities carefully verified when registering and sign a declaration. I quickly spoke up. May we see our declarations? Shen Youchu nodded as well. Please bring us the declarations. The staff member rose helplessly. You two really are in sync for a married couple. Fine. I will find them for you. Before long, 2 registration files were placed before us. I glanced at the handwriting on them. It was indeed mine. Liu Qiang leaned closer and cried out, Boss, this really is your handwriting. Shen Youchu fell silent. I turned to the member. Hello. Could we see the surveillance footage from the day we registered? Sorry, we only keep recordings for 6 months. The staff member repeatedly assured us. There was absolutely no error in the process. Both parties must appear in person together to obtain a marriage certificate. The three of us walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Liu Qiang looked lost. Boss, what do we do now? Shen Youchu's eyes darkened. I raised an eyebrow. Divorce. The two of us spoke in unison again. Liu Qiang froze. Then he asked, are you getting divorced now? Should we discuss the terms of the divorce? I will have my lawyer contact yours to discuss the terms. Shen Youchu and I spoke in unison for the 3rd time. I laughed and said simply, how about this? Let us first look over the agreements our respective lawyers drafted. If there are any issues, our lawyers can discuss them afterward. Liu Qiang scoffed. Can someone like you afford a lawyer? But Shen Youchu nodded in agreement. I ignored Liu Qiang. Taking out my phone, I said, Miss Shen, let us add each other on WeChat. It will make it easier to stay in touch. Shen Youchu gave me a meaningful look and pulled up her QR code. I scanned it, and our chat window opened. The contact name displayed there was Silly Granddaughter. Her face instantly darkened. I was embarrassed too. I had forgotten we had already added each other on WeChat. Ignoring her thunderous expression, I cleared my throat. I just gave you that name on a whim back then. I casually changed it to Silly Second Girl. After saying, see you around, I hailed a cab and left. In the cab, I called Jiyu. Find the best divorce lawyer. Do not let her take a single cent from me. Boss, what is going on with your marriage? Do not tell me you both have amnesia. I sighed. One person must know what happened. Old Madam Shen. I frowned. The Alzheimer's drug in clinical development needs to be developed faster. Otherwise, it will be too late. When I return home, the little old lady was actually waiting at the door with a suitcase. Grandson-in-law, you are back. I brought lots of clothes. I paused slightly, then gave a helpless laugh. That day, Haiqing's most prestigious law firm received 2 anonymous requests. Their demands were surprisingly identical. The other party could not take a single cent. The junior lawyer complained, I have never seen such heartless spouses. The lawyer chuckled. 1 contract to fees. Send the divorce agreement to the clients. Soon afterward, Shen Youchu was in her office. When she received my divorce agreement, she had just opened it. When Liu Qiang pushed open the door and entered, Boss, the investigation results are in. Ling Yu only discovered that you were already married when he went to register a marriage a few days ago. As for him, after he left the Ling family. Much of his information from the past few years cannot be found. It is very strange. Shen Youchu considered this. So, you think he is connected to this? His motives are still unknown. Also, the researcher has been impossible to track down. We have not reached him yet. Shen Youchu said nothing. He did not know that the clinical Alzheimer's drug was precisely what I was developing. That evening, Shen Youchu asked me to come downstairs. She handed me the agreement. I have no objections. Sign it. She thought I would refuse, but I signed without hesitation. We will divorce tomorrow. Why the rush? Is she in a hurry to die? I grumbled inwardly. My company is still waiting to go public. See you at the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow morning. Just then, old Madame Shen came downstairs. Her face was pale. Her voice trembled. You are getting divorced? Before she finished speaking, her eyes closed, and she collapsed to the floor. Outside the hospital room, the doctor warned us sternly. Old Madame cannot endure any more shock. Do not upset her again, no matter what. Shen Youchu sat on the bench, her hands trembling uncontrollably. When old Madame woke up, she looked at me, her voice hoarse. Grandson-in-law, I dreamed that you and that brat were getting divorced. That is not true, is it? I said nothing, but Shen Youchu spoke up beside me. It is not true. Then do not get divorced. Give me your household registration books and marriage certificates. All right. Shen Youchu agreed readily. The little old lady looked at me again. Grandson-in-law, that brat is telling the truth, right? Remembering the doctor's warning, I fell silent for a moment. It is true. That night, I sat on the sofa reviewing English research materials. A WeChat message from silly second girl popped up. Once grandma's condition stabilizes, we will get divorced. I replied, fine. The agreement was signed anyway. We have nothing to do with each other. Shen Youchu sent another message. Give any other demands. Once grandma recovers, we just need to get divorced as soon as possible. The little old lady looked at me, then at her. Then she suddenly said, Brat, at the Shen group, I want to arrange a job for my grandson-in-law. Shen Youchu paused slightly, then replied, all right. The little old lady beamed. Tomorrow, you will follow that brat to work? I agreed as well. The Shen group had an extensive archive, which would be perfect for my research. Afterward, Shen Youchu left with Liu Qiang. In the hallway, Liu Qiang complained, Boss, he is obviously trying to infiltrate the company. Why did you agree to it? If we do not keep him under our watch, how will he reveal his true colors? Shen Youchu said coldly. In the hospital room, old Madame beckoned to me. Grandson-in-law, I will tell you a secret. If that brat bullies you, fight back. She may look arrogant and impossible to provoke, but she is actually afraid of cats. I froze. The older girl I had known as a child seemed to be afraid of cats too. Grandson-in-law, do you prefer cats or dogs? I suddenly realized that I used to like cats too, but that older girl did not. So I stopped liking them. I soon understood why the little old lady had asked that question. The next day, on the top floor of the Shen group, an adorable Shiba Inu puppy wagged its tail and circled around me. Liu Qiang was speechless. The job old Madame arranged for Mr. Ling was taking care of this little puppy? Shen Youchu did not understand either. My job was actually to pet a dog. This was utterly ridiculous. She ordered, take them to the new Energy Research and Development Department, Group 1, and get them settled in. She had arranged this long ago. The new Energy Research and Development Department was crucial to the group's future. By placing me there, she wanted to see whether I would give myself away. I did not mind. I picked up the puppy and followed Liu Qiang. Does he have a name? Old Madame said you could name him. I glanced at Shen Youchu's sour expression. Then I will call him Kitty. The new Energy Research and Development Department was on the 30th floor. In the elevator, Liu Qiang said, Young Master Ling, the employees in the Shen Group's research department are mostly doctoral students. Even the least qualified are graduate students from prestigious universities. You are the first undergraduate here. Learn well from your seniors here. It will greatly benefit your future. The boss arranged this specifically for you. Of course, you do not need to be overwhelmed with gratitude. This is the boss's reward for keeping old Madame happy. The corner of my mouth twitched. There was really no need. Oh, and your relationship with the boss. The boss does not want it made public, so there will not be any trouble when you divorce later. I looked at him. As it happens, I have the same concern. Liu Qiang was stunned. This man was actually looking down on the boss. My first day at work was easy. No one assigned me anything. I was perfectly content with that. I played with the puppy in the office. After he fell asleep, I got up and shut the door, then headed straight for the archive on the 60th floor. Only by developing an effective Alzheimer's drug, once the little old lady recovered and remembered the past, could I understand what this absurd marriage was really about. The books here covered the most advanced knowledge from every field. Some were research materials unavailable anywhere else. I felt a quiet thrill of excitement. Upstairs, Shen Youchu received a text from old Madam Shen. Grandma's WeChat name had been changed to Grandma must not be upset. Brat, have lunch with your grandson-in-law today. Remember to send me a sweet photo of you two having lunch together. Shen Youchu sighed helplessly and pressed the call button. Liu Qiang, prepare the lunches and bring them up. He sent me a message, but I did not reply for a long time. On the 60th floor, I searched behind row after row of bookshelves. Before long, I spotted Shen staring at me. I was engrossed in looking for books. As I stepped back, I suddenly bumped into someone. Sorry, I turned around, only to find Shen watching me with a complicated expression. Ling, you work so hard to please great-grandma. Was it to get close to Aunt Youchu? My expression instantly turned cold. It is none of your business. Aunt Youchu has never been interested in men all these years. Do not think that face of yours will let you seduce her. She is not that shallow. And yet, even now, she has merely given you some insignificant job to brush you off. I gave a mocking laugh. So, you are saying you pursued me for so long back then? Because you were the shallow one. Shen's eyes reddened. I know you hate me for proposing to Ling Fan, but I had no choice. A marriage alliance between powerful families involves many considerations. My mother even agreed that I could be with an ordinary person. But your status, no matter what, I could never marry an illegitimate son. How could I ever hold my head up in the Shen family otherwise? I would become the laughingstock of hiking. I withdrew my gaze. Thank you for not marrying me. Just as I was about to leave, Shen blocked my path. I can arrange for you to work in our group. I will find someone capable to mentor you. I know you are ambitious. You are so smart. You will learn very quickly. I cut off her rambling. What is the condition? Divorce her and be with me. Shen could not stand sharing him with another woman. Just thinking about it made her feel as though she would go mad. I replied coldly, you are not worthy. Why do you love that delinquent wife of yours so much? Believe it or not, I can give her money, or have someone threaten her. Either way, she will abandon you. How could she possibly compare to me? At that, I gave Shen a cold once-over. I did not want to wound your pride, but since you insist on pushing the matter, I will tell you. My wife is prettier than you, and she has a better figure too. With that said, I turned to leave, only to see Shen Youchu standing around the corner. I fell silent. So, did she? Behind me, Shen's gaze darkened. She picked up her phone and called Ling Fan. Did you not arrange to have dinner with Dr. Yu tomorrow afternoon? Bring me along. Shen Youchu, meanwhile, invited me to lunch as an excuse to take me to the top floor. When we entered Shen Yuchu's office, she pointed to the dining table beside us. Eat first? I still felt a little guilty. Seeing how she acted, she probably had not heard what I said. As I was thinking that, I heard the click of a phone camera. Shen Youchu calmly took a photo and sent it to Grandma. Only then did she come over. I knew why she had taken it, so I did not ask. I simply looked at the table and made small talk. Miss Shen's lunch is quite lavish. She sat across from me, elegantly picking up her chopsticks. After all, with proper nutrition, it is easier to maintain one's figure. I froze. My face flushed. My gaze swept over her snowy skin. Awkwardly, I packed up a portion of the food. Miss Shen, I just remembered. Kitty has not been fed yet. I will be going now. Thank you for lunch. In high spirits, I left carrying the lunchbox. After work, Shen Youchu called her grandmother. Where are you? At the hospital. My chest suddenly started hurting again this afternoon. I want to stay a few more days. Brat, are you coming to stay with me tonight? It is fine if you do not. I will just stay in the hospital all alone and miserable. I am coming right now. That is more like it. Oh, I have already spoken to your husband. He is coming to keep me company too. Come with him. Shen Youchu rubbed her temple. She understood her grandmother's little scheme. She sent me a message. I will pick you up after work and take you to the hospital. I replied quickly. No need. I have already taken a cab and am on my way. Though she wanted to keep her distance, seeing me avoid suspicion so deliberately somehow made Shen Youchu even more displeased. I entered the inpatient building with the puppy in my arms. Not far away, Mrs. Ling had just finished her follow-up examination. Ling Fan held her arm. Is that Ling Yu? Why is he at the hospital? Is he sick? Mrs. Ling asked hesitantly. Ling Fan was secretly annoyed. Old Madam Shen will not allow anyone to visit her. Yet she lets Ling Yu keep her company. His eyes flickered. He is probably visiting old Madam Shen. Ling Yu is certainly filial to her. Nanny Nan frowned. Devoted. How so? He has never come to visit Madam. And you are still defending him. Madam. Young Master Ling Yu is an ungrateful wretch. He has probably forgotten you long ago. Ling Fan chimed in. I heard. Miss Shen found him a job at Shen Group. That is why he is repaying old Madam Shen, I suppose. Nanny Nan scoffed. Madam raised him too. Nothing outweighs the debt of being raised. Yet he has never repaid Madam. Enough. Stop talking. Mrs. Ling stopped them. Ling Fan put on a sigh. Mom means well, but some people repay even the smallest kindness 100-fold. Like Dr. Yu. Mom only gave him a little financial support. But look how much he has helped our family over the years. 3 years ago, the company was nearly bankrupt. Dr. Yu gave us a technology patent outright, and that saved us from disaster. Nanny Nan nodded. Compared to him, Dr. Yu is so much better than Ling Yu. I want to know too, what kind of man Dr. Yu really is. Mom, take me with you tomorrow. Mrs. Ling smiled and stroked his head. I will take you. I watched this scene from the sofa in the VIP ward. My gaze followed Mrs. Ling. Her face was unnaturally pale. Ling Fan whispered something beside her. Mrs. Ling nodded helplessly. Mother and son were so close. Not until their car drove away did I reluctantly look away. When I turned around, the little old lady was standing behind me. Grandson-in-law, who was that woman? She looked so familiar. My expression softened. I was about to answer, when her eyes suddenly lit up. I remember now. She is your mother. You two look so alike. I paused slightly. In truth, apart from our face shapes, Mrs. Ling and I did not share similar features. Only our cool, aloof bearing was exactly alike. After leaving the Ling family, I had unconsciously studied the way she handled things. Over time, I had taken on some of her poise. I looked at the little old lady. Grandma, she is not my mother. But the little old lady was utterly certain. She is your mother, grandson-in-law. How can you deny your own mother? I did not know whether to laugh or cry. Luckily, Shen Youchu appeared at the door carrying dinner. The dinner Shen Youchu prepared was lavish. She had even brought fruit for 3. The moment the little old lady saw it, she immediately frowned. Grandson-in-law cannot eat mangoes. He is allergic to them. My heart jolted. I stared at her in astonishment. Grandma, how did you know? I used to be allergic, yes. But I underwent desensitization therapy 2 years ago. I had never told her about it. The little old lady smiled. You told me before. You said that whenever you ate mangoes, your face would break out in tiny red bumps. My expression turned grave as I asked, when was that? The little old lady looked confused again. I think you told me before the wedding. My heart was in turmoil. I was certain I did not know her before the wedding, and I had never lost my memory. I hurriedly pressed her. What else do you remember? For instance, how did Miss Shen and I register our marriage? The little old lady shook her head. She could not remember. I felt Shen Yuchu's scrutinizing gaze. Her face was cold. I knew she must think I had ulterior motives again. There was no way I could clear my name now. I picked up the Shiba Inu. Grandma, you two eat first. I will take the dog for a walk. I hid at the end of the hallway, quietly watching the ward. Before long, Shen Youchu came out after me. Young Master Ling, is there something you want to say? I thought you would want me to explain something. Then, is there anything you want to explain? Young Master Ling. I answered earnestly about what Grandma said happened before the wedding. I truly do not know what happened. Something this private. The little old lady could not have made up. I thought she would question me, but she merely replied calmly, I believe you. I was stunned. Miss Shen believed me. Shen Youchu stepped closer. Her voice was icy as she said, Young Master Ling, I do not care whether you have an agenda. If you can keep Grandma happy, I promise to keep you safe. I understood. She did not care about the truth. As long as Grandma was happy, she could even tolerate every scheme I had plotted, turning a blind eye to it all. She added threateningly, if you hurt Grandma, I will make sure you cannot remain in hiking. I gave a cold laugh. Has Miss Shen not already done that? Shen Youchu frowned, about to speak, when Professor Wen's voice suddenly rang out. Ling Yu. Professor Wen approached, his voice hoarse. I was just about to call you, to ask if you had found a job. Have you cleared up the misunderstanding with Miss Shen? Miss Shen is being absolutely heartless. Why is she taking this so far? Canceling your guaranteed graduate school admission was bad enough. But she even said she would make you disappear from hiking. Youchu stood beside us, utterly confused. I glanced at her with a faint, knowing smile. Do not worry, Professor. It is settled. It was all a misunderstanding. Miss Shen is actually quite nice. She not only arranged a job for me, but also promised to protect me. Youchu's face darkened. Professor Wen sighed in relief. Then he looked at Youchu and asked instinctively, "Is this your delinquent wife?" Youchu's face went completely dark. My smile only deepened. More or less. Professor Wen earnestly told Youchu, "You are a pretty young woman. You should work hard and find a respectable job." Meanwhile, in the Ling family dining room, Ling Zhenan worriedly asked Mrs. Ling, who had no appetite, "Xia, what is wrong? Are you feeling unwell?" Ling Fan cut in. "Dad, we ran into Ling Yu at the hospital today. Mom is probably worried about him." "Why should she worry about him?" Ling Fan sighed. "He must hate me now. I am afraid he will say something before old Madam Shen, and Miss Shen will take it out on me." Ling Zhenan sneered. "He is the one who offended Miss Shen. What does that have to do with you?" As they spoke, Ling Zhenan's phone rang. It was Shen Yuchu's special assistant, Liu Qiang. "Assistant Liu, what brings you to call me? Does Miss Shen have instructions for me?" The voice on the other end was unusually cold. "My boss asked me to ask young Master Ling Fan." "When did he say that he would make young Master Ling Yu disappear from hiking? How is it that my boss herself knows nothing about it?" Ling Zhenan's expression froze. He looked at Ling Fan in disbelief. Liu Qiang left him with one final remark. "The Ling family truly needs to teach its younger generation some manners." With that, he hung up. Beside him, Ling Fan lowered his head in silence. "When I saw Ling Yu pestering Miss Shen, I was afraid he would affect my marriage to Sister Shen. Dad, I did not mean to." Ling Fan defended himself, his face pale. "Ling Yu is your son, after all. I was afraid you would not have the heart to discipline him. I was foolish." Ling Zhenan changed the subject. "How many times have I told you? I only have one son in my heart, and that is you. What is Ling Yu, anyway? How could he possibly compare to you?" Mrs. Ling objected. "Zhenan, Ling Yu is your son, after all." Ling Zhenan turned to her at once. "Xia, Liu Li set me up back then. I wronged you. I will never acknowledge her son. In my heart, there is only you and our son." Liu Li, standing nearby as a maid, heard those words and clenched her fist in resentment. She looked at Ling Zhenan, her eyes full of bitterness. This was the man she loved deeply, the boy next door she had grown up with. Yet in this man's eyes and heart, there was only Li Xia. After she became pregnant all those years ago, she took her pregnancy test to him, offering to be his mistress. But he mercilessly drove her away, saying he would not betray his wife. With no other choice, Liu Li went to Li Xia. She threatened suicide and made a scene until the Ling family let her stay. All these years, Ling Zhenan had barely spoken to her, and he treated Ling Yu as if he did not exist. Fortunately, she had switched the two children. Liu Li lowered her head, suppressing the amusement in her eyes. Ling Zhenan would never know that the son of Li Xia he claimed to cherish above all else, Ling Fan, whom he had doted on for so many years, was actually his son. As for Ling Yu, he deserved to be ignored and suppressed. But Mrs. Ling stubbornly shook her head. "Zhenan, Ling Fan was wrong. Wrong is wrong. Our family should apologize to Ling Yu." Ling Zhenan frowned. "Apologize? My son should apologize to Liu Li's son." Liu Li hurriedly said, No. The Ling family raised him. That is an enormous kindness. You have every right to discipline him." Mrs. Ling looked at them and sighed softly, but did not argue further. When Ling Fan escorted her back to her room, Mrs. Ling spoke again. "If you have time tomorrow, I will take you to Ling Yu's home to apologize." Ling Fan's expression stiffened. "Did you not want to take Shen to meet Dr. Yu? Let us do both tomorrow." Ling Fan's eyes immediately lit up. He linked his arm through hers. "Okay, Mom, you are still the best to me." After he left, Mrs. Ling looked at the old servant, Nanny Nan. "Sister Nan, my health has been poor these past years. I failed to discipline Ling Fan properly. I have truly neglected my duty." "Madam, you are overthinking it. Young Master Ling Fan is filial and thoughtful. He only has a few small flaws. He can correct them later." Mrs. Ling gave a bitter smile. "Ling Yu never lies." She began coughing violently. Supported by Nanny Nan, she walked toward the bed. That secret still weighed on her until she could barely breathe. The next day, I had been somewhat nervous since I woke up. It had been 10 years since I last saw Mrs. Ling. I did not know whether she would be happy or angry to see me. At noon, I went home to change clothes. Grandma asked Shen Youchu to take me home. The two of us left the ward. As soon as we reached the ground floor, Liu Qiang approached us. Shen Youchu nodded at him. Liu Qiang handed me a sheet of paper. Young Master Ling, please take a look. It listed a number of professors of new energy studies from renowned universities across the country. I looked at Liu Qiang in confusion. These professors are all more renowned than Professor Wen. You can choose one and continue your graduate studies. This is my boss's compensation for revoking your guaranteed graduate admission. Young Master Ling, meeting our boss, has turned misfortune into a blessing for you. My lips twitched. No need. Then you want to pursue a master's degree under Dr. Yu. Liu Qiang frowned. That may be difficult. Dr. Yu is highly sought after now. A genius professor like that only takes genius students. I am afraid you would not impress him. Do not set your sights too high. At worst, after you finish your master's degree, you can pursue a doctorate under Dr. Yu. I looked at him as though he were an idiot. Then I said directly to Shen Youchu, Miss Shen, you do not need to see me off. I will take a cab home. Shen Youchu watched me leave. Then she suddenly told Liu Qiang, contact Dr. Yu for him. What? Liu Qiang was stunned. Outside the private restaurant, Mrs. Ling arrived early with Ling Fan and Shen. Shen pushed open the private dining room door. She was met by the tall, upright silhouette of a man. He was pouring tea. Hello, Dr. Yu. I am Shen of the Shen Group. It is a pleasure to meet you. I turned around. A hint of amusement appeared on my face. Ling Yu, why are you here? Shouldn't I be asking you that? My tone was lazy. Shen's expression turned cold. Relax. I did not come here for you this time. Where is Dr. Yu? Where is she? I said nothing. Mrs. Ling entered with Ling Fan. When Mrs. Ling saw me, her eyes welled up. You are Ling Yu? Something stirred in my heart. Mrs. Ling, have you been well lately? I am well, Ling Yu. And you? Your father said you got married. Mrs. Ling held my hand and would not let go. She was overcome with emotion. A dark glint flashed in Ling Fan's eyes. Ling Yu, we should have invited you to dine with us. But you are working here, so that would be inconvenient, right? We will leave you a larger tip later, to help cover your living expenses. Say no more. Mrs. Ling rebuked him, then hurriedly looked at me. Ling Yu, we are meeting Dr. Yu today. You work in new energy too, right? Come meet Dr. Yu with us. It will help your future. Afraid I would steal his opportunities. Ling Fan picked up a scalding teacup and came over to me. Ling Yu, my mother told me to apologize to you yesterday. I will use tea in place of wine and offer you a toast. As he spoke, his fingers loosened. The tea was about to spill onto me. I shifted sideways and bumped him. The cup bounced back onto Ling Fan. The scalding tea made him cry out. Ling Yu, I know you hate me, but how could you do this? He cried out, sounding aggrieved. I lowered my eyes, feigning innocence. Sorry, I did not see it. Shen snapped angrily. Ling Yu, is this how you do your job as a waiter? You injured a customer. Get your manager here at once. I am filing a complaint against you. Mrs. Ling defended me. Enough. We are all family. Mom, Sister Shen is angry. Let Ling Yu leave first. That way, there will not be another conflict. Mrs. Ling looked at me apologetically. Ling Yu, come home more often when you have time. When there is another chance, I will take you to meet Dr. Yu. Ling Fan hurriedly changed the subject. Mom, why has Dr. Yu not arrived yet? I said with a faint, knowing smile. Dr. Yu is already here. All three people in the room turned to look at me. Mrs. Ling was about to press for answers when she suddenly began coughing violently. She collapsed onto the dining table. Mrs. Ling. I instinctively reached out to catch her, but Ling Fan violently shoved me away. Get away. What did you do to my mother? Mom, wake up. The ambulance arrived quickly. I tried to get into it, but Shen grabbed me. Stay away from Mrs. Ling. You illegitimate son. If you make anything happen to her, I will not let this go. I took a cab and followed close behind. At the hospital, the corridors were packed with people. There were no vacant beds. Upstairs, Shen Youchu saw the scene. She instructed Liu Qiang, arrange a room for young Master Ling. The front desk received the call and immediately announced, a private suite has just opened up. Ling Fan was overjoyed. Sister Shen, you always know what to do. Shen silently took the credit. The group moved into the room. I followed right behind them. But Ling stopped me at the door. Ling Yu, my mother needs rest. Do not disturb her. The door slammed shut. I stood there, frozen. Anxiety burned through me. But I had no right to go inside. I could only sit on a bench. Not long after, hurried footsteps echoed down the hall. Ling Zhenin rushed into the room, his face filled with worry. Only after confirming Mrs. Ling was all right, did he pull Ling Fan outside? Ling Zhenin frowned. What happened? How did she suddenly faint? Ling Fan looked at me, sitting nearby. Ling Yu insisted on meeting Dr. Yu. He argued with Sister Shen, an upset mom. Ling Zhenin immediately glared at me. You ungrateful wretch, without another word. He drew back his arm and swung at me. I did not dodge. Mrs. Ling's pale face filled my mind. Perhaps Ling Fan was right. My very presence was his misfortune. But the pain I expected never came. I opened my eyes and saw only a cool, aloof figure standing in front of me. Shen Youchu stood there, as if she were holding up the sky for me. Ling Zhenin said in alarm, Miss Shen, what are you doing? Ling Zhenin demanded. Shen Youchu replied, Mr. Ling is disciplining his son. I should not interfere. But Grandma likes him now. If she sees injuries on young Master Ling's face, she would be upset. Shen Yuchu's voice was low and pleasant. Ling Zhenin immediately replied, I had not thought it through. Mrs. Ling's cough came from inside the room. Ling Zhenin and Ling Fan rushed inside. I hesitated outside the door for a long time. Her weak voice drifted out from inside. I am fine. Do not worry. I have not slept well in a long time. When I fainted just now, I actually slept very comfortably. Only then did the tightness in my chest ease. Shen Youchu asked, You are not going in? Not for now. Otherwise, it will turn into another war of words, and Mrs. Ling will not get the rest she needs. I spoke softly, just as I turned around. Grandma came over, supported by her butler. I heard my grandson-in-law's mother was hospitalized. I came to visit her. I took her arm. Grandma, Mrs. Ling is not my mother. Did I mistake her for someone else? The elderly woman took out her phone, found a photo, and handed it to me. Grandson-in-law, you sent this to me before. You said it was you and your mother. Is the woman in that room not the one in this photo? I froze. In the photo, Mrs. Ling and I sat by the sea, smiling brightly. We looked exactly like mother and son, but I had not seen her since leaving the Ling family. How could there be a photo of us together? I enlarged the photo and spotted the clue. It was a poorly doctored image. When did I send this to you? The elderly woman shook her head. She did not remember. Then how did I send it to you? By email or text message? She kept shaking her head, unable to remember. I felt helpless, but the elderly woman was adamant. Grandson-in-law, she is your mother. You cannot ignore your mother. After seeing the elderly woman off, Shen Youchu stood in the hallway. Liu Qiang soon came over to report, Boss, I have figured it out. Young Master Ling went to work at that private restaurant and ran into the Ling family there. Shen Yuchu's voice was cool. Is Shen Group paying him that little? Why else would he take a job outside? No, his pay is quite good. The old madam arranged the job for him. Perhaps the work his supervisor assigned was too difficult, and he was afraid of being fired. But Shen Youchu did not think it was that simple. What were the Lings doing at that restaurant? They had an appointment with Dr. Yu. Miss Shen went there for that too. And Dr. Yu? He never showed up. A glimmer flickered in Shen Yuchu's deep eyes. A ridiculous thought began to take shape. Inside the hospital room, Mrs. Ling looked much better after resting. Ling Fan, let Shen go home first. Ling Fan looked awkward. Shen stayed here, purely to wait for Dr. Yu. Mrs. Ling understood at once. Hand me my phone. We missed today's appointment, so we should explain it to Dr. Yu. After Mrs. Ling rescheduled the appointment, Ling Fan finally escorted Shen out. In the hallway, Ling Fan said, Sister Shen, do not worry. Dr. Yu will not be a problem. I am in Shen Group's research and development department now. A few tough people there refuse to accept me. Only if I can bring Dr. Yu aboard will I have made a real contribution and secure my footing. That is why Dr. Yu is so important to me. You have to convince him. The two entered the elevator. I stepped out from the corner. Then I pushed open the door and entered the room. Ling Zhenin's face immediately darkened. What are you doing here again? Get out. Is that Ling Yu? Let him come in, quickly. Mrs. Ling's gentle voice sounded. Ling Zhenin warned me. Do not upset my wife again. I already told you. Today had nothing to do with Ling Yu. I simply have not slept well for days. Mrs. Ling gently scolded him. She took my hand. You must have been terrified today, child. Her palm was warm. I smiled. No, she added, come home more often. And your wife? Your mother says she is some little delinquent, but I do not believe it. Ling Yu has always had good judgment, and he knows his own mind. Anyone you chose must have good qualities. Bring her to meet me someday. My nose stung. Okay. She began coughing violently again. I took out a plastic bottle. This is cough medicine I had someone get from me. Take one when you cannot sleep at night. Mrs. Ling nodded and accepted it. I left the room. Then I heard Ling Zhenin scoff inside. How could a bottle of medicine from some unknown little clinic win you over? He casually tossed the bottle into the trash. Late that night, Mrs. Ling woke coughing again. Her anxiety grew so severe that she thought of ending her life. As if compelled by some unseen force, she retrieved the medicine from the trash. She took one pill. A cool sensation instantly soothed her itchy throat. She drifted off to sleep in a haze. At 10 the next morning, Ling Zhenin woke Mrs. Ling. She had actually slept straight through the night. Madam, the sleeping pills the doctor gave you yesterday really worked. You slept for a full 10 hours. Nanny Nan's eyes reddened with excitement. What sleeping pills? Mrs. Ling was confused. Nanny Nan looked at Ling Fan. Miss Shen found them for you. She specially got powerful sleeping pills and added them to your medicine. Who knew they would really work? Mrs. Ling paused. Her throat felt much clearer. Her gaze fell on the unlabeled plastic bottle beside her pillow. Ling Zhenin lavishly praised his daughter-in-law. This daughter-in-law is truly wonderful. I heard the inpatient ward has been full lately. Shen called in countless favors to arrange this room. We have her to thank this time. Seizing the chance, Ling Fan said, Mom, Sister Shen is so devoted to you. You should help her too. The family wants Sister Shen to run research and development, but those researchers do not respect her. If Dr. Yu could join as an outside technical consultant, Sister Shen could establish her authority. Mrs. Ling hesitated. Then she said, I will ask Dr. Yu, but if he declines, let it go. Ling Fan beamed. As far as he was concerned, as long as Mrs. Ling asked, Dr. Yu had never refused her. Mrs. Ling took out her phone, found Dr. Yu's profile picture, and carefully considered her wording. She sent a message. Xiao Yu, are you free? I would like to ask you for a favor. When I received the message, I had just returned from taking the elderly woman downstairs for a walk. I frowned. What could Mrs. Ling need from me? Could there be a problem with yesterday's medicine? That medicine was still in clinical trials. Seeing how seriously ill she was, I had taken it out ahead of schedule. I grew anxious. I asked the caregiver to take the elderly woman back to her room, then hurried to Mrs. Ling's room. I soon arrived at the hospital room and found Shen and, surprisingly, Liu Li there as well. Their laughter stopped the moment I entered. I felt like an unwanted extra. Seeing Mrs. Ling was all right, I lowered my eyes and prepared to leave. But Liu Li spoke up. Isn't this young Master Ling? Now that you've latched onto Madame Shen, are the rest of us beneath your notice? I turned to leave, but she grabbed me. I hear you are now completely focused on currying favor with Madame Shen. You spend all night emptying her bedpan and cleaning up after her. Do you think she will treat you like her real grandson? What a ridiculous fantasy. You are nothing but her plaything. Ling Fan quickly said. Do not say that. Madame Shen thinks highly of Ling Yu. Liu Li raised her voice. How is that thinking highly of him? The way Miss Shen treats you. Ling Fan. Now that is genuine regard. She looked at Shen ingratiatingly. I heard there were no rooms available yesterday. Even prominent families had to wait in line. Miss Shen pulled strings to get Madame into this VIP room. Shen looked at me and smiled modestly. My aunt simply did not know about it. Otherwise, she would have helped too. I only did what little I could. Even if Miss Shen had known, she would not have given you a second thought. Liu Li mocked me again. No matter how hard you suck up to her, she only toys with you like some stray cat or dog. I clenched my fist. I did not want to argue in the hospital room. Youchu, who had rushed over, heard every word outside the door. Her face turned ice cold. Liu Qiang instantly understood his boss's meaning. He gave a dry cough and entered. Mrs. Ling, I am here on President Shen's behalf to see how you are doing. Are you comfortable in this room? The room fell silent. Everyone looked at Shen. She looked utterly stunned. Liu Li froze. Then she smiled and said, Miss Shen. So, you asked President Shen to arrange this room? Shen's expression stiffened. But Liu Qiang smiled. Mr. Ling asked my boss to arrange it. Miss Shen, did you ask my boss to? Shen was so embarrassed she wished the ground would swallow her whole. I made so many calls then, and contacted several people. I was mistaken. Ling Fan clenched his fists tightly, feeling utterly humiliated. Mrs. Ling broke the awkward silence. Thank you, Miss Shen. I am very comfortable here. Once I am feeling better, I will visit Madam Shen. Liu Qiang said, as long as you are comfortable here, Mr. Ling will not worry, and our madam will be happy. He was clearly elevating my status. Everyone else in the room felt their hearts sink, but Mrs. Ling was genuinely delighted. I glanced at Liu Li, my mockery plain to see. Liu Li flew into a rage. You little brat, what are you so smug about? Shut up. Ling Zhenin roared. My wife is ill and needs rest. Why are you barking nonsense in here? Get back home. Liu Li shot me a resentful glare, covered her face, and ran away. I looked at Mrs. Ling in the hospital bed. How did you sleep last night? Mrs. Ling instinctively clutched the small medicine bottle beneath her blanket. Very well. I have not slept that well in a long time. That is good. I will be going now. Liu Qiang and I left the room. Youchu was leaning against the corridor wall, looking at her phone. The light cast shadows across her cool, aloof profile. When she saw me come out, she said, Grandma was worried. She insisted that I come see for myself. Her voice was distant. The warmth filled my heart. Thank you. The hospital room door opened. Shen and Ling Fan came out. When they saw Shen Youchu and me standing together, Ling Fan looked as though he faced a formidable enemy. Shen instinctively demanded, Aunt, what are you doing here? Shen Yuchu's eyes held quiet satisfaction. I do not believe I need to report my whereabouts to you. Her overwhelming presence made Shen's palms sweat. She looked at me with jealousy. Young Master Ling, you have been at the hospital caring for great-grandma. Does your wife not mind? I was a little puzzled. I glanced at Shen Youchu and said with a faint smile, I do not think she minds. Shen's face changed dramatically. Shen Youchu suddenly asked, shall we go back to the room? Grandma is waiting for you. I smiled lightly. Let us go. We turned and left, leaving Shen behind with a sinister look in her eyes. She returned to Mrs. Ling's hospital room. As she straightened the bedding, she cried out, why is there a bottle of medicine on the bed? Ling Zhenin frowned. Isn't this that unlabeled, unapproved medicine Ling Yi gave you? Xia, why did you pick it back up? I took one last night, and it seemed to help. Mrs. Ling explained. How could that be? It was clearly the sleeping pills that worked. Ling Zhenin snatched away the medicine. Who knows where he got that medicine? What if it harms your body? Do not stop me tonight. I will not take those sleeping pills. Let us see which medicine actually works. We will find out which medicine actually works. Late that night, Mrs. Ling was again seized by violent, unrelenting coughing. Nanny Nan held the sleeping pills that had been praised as a miracle cure, only to find they did nothing at all. Mrs. Ling coughed until her face was bright red. Nanny Nan rushed out and retrieved my medicine. Just as she was about to give it to Mrs. Ling, Ling Fang grabbed her hand. Mom, what if this medicine is what made your cough worse? Medicine from an unknown source is better left untaken. Ling Zhenin also snapped. That Ling Yu. Xia, you have treated him so well. Yet he brought you medicine to harm you. Mrs. Ling was coughing too hard to speak. She stared fixedly at Nanny Nan. Nanny Nan was fiercely loyal. Ignoring the pressure, she put the medicine into Mrs. Ling's mouth. The coughing stopped instantly. Mrs. Ling let out a long breath. It was clear that Ling Yu's medicine had worked. The group went out to the adjoining room. Ling Fan's face was deathly pale. Dad, Ling Yu really did get his hands on an effective medicine. What is he capable of? He must have asked Miss Shen to buy it for him. Ling Zhenin's brow furrowed deeply. It seems Madam Shen truly thinks highly of him. In the VIP hospital room, Shen Youchu was chatting with her grandmother. What did you have for lunch today? The elderly woman thought for a long while. Rice porridge, no. That does not seem right. It was noodles. You little brat. Right. Shen Youchu smiled and nodded. But her heart sank. They had eaten rice for lunch. Grandma had forgotten again. Her memory loss seemed to be getting worse. I suddenly spoke in a lazy tone. Grandma, what color were Miss Shen's earrings yesterday? The elderly woman immediately answered, purple. That little brat always cares about looking her best. She even wore diamond cufflinks. What about the day before? They were blue. I bought her those blue earrings myself. I smiled faintly at Shen Youchu. Pointedly. Grandma remembers the things she cares about very clearly. Shen Youchu looked at me. I was curled up in a beanbag chair, fiddling with my phone, looking completely at ease. She realized that I had been comforting her. Her anxious heart gradually calmed. The elderly woman suddenly smiled. Grandson-in-law. I got it all right, did I not? I nodded. You did. You little brat, do you see? Your husband even remembers what you wear every day. You are in his heart. I froze. I just have a photographic memory. I did not deliberately memorize it. I was just about to explain. But Shen Youchu merely stared at her computer and ignored me. What I did not notice was that the tips of her ears had turned slightly red. I continued studying the information on my phone. I still had no clue how to finish the Alzheimer's work. I stood and went out for a walk. I had just gone downstairs to walk the dog when someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around and saw Liu Li's gambling-addicted younger brother, my uncle, Liu Yaoguang. Long time no see, nephew. I took a step back. What are you doing here? I heard you have wormed your way into the Shen family, nephew. Your uncle is a little short on cash lately. Could you lend your uncle some money? I sneered. I have no money. You wait on that old hag so well. Has she not given you any money? I narrowed my eyes. Not yet. Maybe she will give me some later. Liu Yaoguang gave a sleazy grin. Then, when that happens, you must lend some to your uncle. If you give me enough, your uncle can tell you a secret. He chuckled crudely and left. I scoffed. Just then, my phone rang. I picked it up and looked. It was surprisingly Mrs. Ling calling. Meanwhile, in the other hospital room, Ling Fen had not received a reply from Dr. Yu for a long time, and Shen kept pressing him. So, while Mrs. Ling was asleep, he stole her phone. He found Xiao Yu in her contacts and called directly. The call connected. My voice was cold. Hello? Mrs. Ling, is something wrong? Ling Fan suddenly froze. Ling Yu? His eyes widened in disbelief. There was no way he could mistake that voice. My heart sank. My voice turned even colder. Ling Fan, what are you doing with Mrs. Ling's phone? This is your phone number? He stammered incoherently. What nonsense are you talking about? Only then did Ling Fan realize. Ling Yu's name also contained the character Yu. Mrs. Ling sometimes called him Xiao Yu. He let out a huge sigh of relief. Ling Fan dropped the act. He said viciously, I just want you to know this. Even if you latched onto Miss Shen through Madame Shen, at most, you are just a toy. Miss Shen already has a husband, but I am different. One day, I will marry Sister Shen. I will become the Shen family's rightful son-in-law. Then congratulations. Feelings alone are not enough in elite families. I have Dr. Yu in my corner. That means I will always be unbeatable. After hanging up, the corner of my mouth twitched. Since when did I become Ling Fan's star player? Right after that, Mrs. Ling's chat with Dr. Yu chimed. It was Ling Fan again. I turned on my voice changer and answered. Ling Fan spoke with utmost respect. Hello, Dr. Yu. I apologize for disturbing you. I am Li Xia's son, Ling Fan. The Shen Group would like to invite you to join its research and development team. My mother feels the same way. Would you be interested? I cut him off coldly. I only work for companies under Mrs. Ling's name. With that, I hung up. Monday arrived. I returned to work at the Shen Group and had just left the hospital planning to hail a cab when a Bentley pulled smoothly up beside me. Shen Youchu kept her eyes ahead. Get in. Grandma asked me to drive you to work. Shen Youchu glanced at me. Take a picture. I got into the back seat. She raised her phone and took a photo of us. I flashed a peace sign, smiling brightly. Shen Youchu was unexpectedly lost in thought. Once we arrived at the company, I headed straight for the archives on the 60th floor. Meanwhile, the Research and Development Department announced Shen's promotion to Vice President. The reason was that she had recruited Dr. Yu. In the top floor office, Liu Qiang reported on my movements. He only joined the Shen Group to look up information. He has been reading in the library all morning. He has not even had lunch. Shen Yuchu's eyes flickered. She went downstairs alone to find me. At the neurology bookshelf, I was standing on a ladder, reaching for material on the highest shelf. The moment I got the book, I was overjoyed. Then my foot slipped, and I fell. I landed right on top of Shen Youchu. When I saw it was her, I hurriedly got up. I am sorry. I did not mean to do that. Shen Youchu took a moment before getting to her feet. The tips of her ears were red, but she pretended not to care. The atmosphere was a little awkward. I made up an excuse and slipped away. Before leaving, I hid that important book in an inconspicuous corner. When I returned to the library that afternoon, I found the book was gone. I was completely baffled. Then I realized There was only one person in the entire company who could take books at will. On the top floor, Youchu was leafing through that dense neurology text, her brows tightly furrowed. Liu Qiang kept muttering beside her. Ling Yu has no idea what is good for him. He is not even here to work. Yes, he was never here to work. Youchu replied lightly. Liu Qiang asked, should I return this book? Youchu tapped her fingers on the book, thinking of my flirtatious eyes, bright with anticipation, earlier that day. Her chest inexplicably grew hot. Not yet. At the end of the workday, the Bentley waited in the underground parking garage. Liu Qiang asked his boss, shall we go? Not yet. Youchu held that thick reference book in her hands. She waited until I got into the car, then looked up and said, let's go. Liu Qiang was somewhat stunned. It seemed the boss had not invited young Master Ling to ride home with them. After work, I returned to the hospital. The moment I reached the VIP ward, I heard Liu Li's ingratiating voice. Madam Shen, I came especially to see you. When you think about it, we really are fated. Madam Shen blocked the doorway, staring straight at her. Get out. If you won't leave, I'll have someone beat you up. Liu Li forced a smile. I'm Ling Yu's mother. Madam Shen, don't you like him best? For his sake, you shouldn't treat me this way. You're not his mother. Madam Shen said with certainty. Mrs. Ling is his real mother. Liu Li instantly broke out in a cold sweat. She reflexively asked, how do you know? She was terrified. The baby switch was known only to her and her younger brother, Liu Yaowang. How could Madam Shen be so certain? When she saw Shen Youchu and me approaching, Liu Li hastily suppressed her guilty panic. She walked up to me and offered me a thermos. Ling Yu, Mom brought you chicken soup. You've worked hard caring for Madam Shen. Have more and build up your strength. I found it utterly ironic. I asked coolly, what do you want? The remaining 2% of the shares. Madam Shen values you so highly. If you ask, she will definitely agree. Help your brother. Otherwise, he will never be able to hold his head up before Shen. My gaze turned glacial. No, Liu Li's expression stiffened. She simply sat on the floor and began to wail. Fine. I went through so much to give birth to you. And now that you've latched onto a rich family, you've turned on me without a shred of feeling. Everyone, come and look. My son is an ungrateful wretch. He is ashamed of his mother's poor background and wants to be their precious grandson instead. The nearby medical staff pointed and whispered. I watched her without betraying a hint of emotion. The helplessness in my heart grew heavier. Keep making a scene. If you disturb others' rest, security will escort you out. With that, I walked straight past her. Liu Li flew into a rage. You ungrateful brat. She leaped to her feet and viciously flung the chicken soup at me. Watch out. A pair of icy hands pulled me into an embrace. Youchu stepped in front of me, taking from me the full force of the scalding heat. My pupils contracted. I hurriedly asked, are you all right? I'm fine. Her brows drew together slightly. She looked toward the frightened Liu Li, who had run away. Once inside the hospital room, the old lady anxiously tugged at Shen Yuchu's clothes. Quick, take it off. Let me see how badly you were burned. Are there any blisters? Does it hurt? Grandson-in-law, hurry and put some ointment on her burn. The old lady shoved the ointment into my hands, then drove everyone else out. Grandson-in-law, she's in your hands. Only the two of us remained in the room. Shen Youchu said quietly. Grandma is being ridiculous. I'll call a nurse in. I'll do it. I walked behind her. The glow of dust fell across her back. I dabbed ointment onto my fingertips and gently spread it over her skin. She did not make a sound. Not until I finished applying the medicine. Did she fix her hair again? Thank you, young Master Ling. You're welcome. You didn't have to shield me. If you were hurt, Grandma would be devastated. Shen Youchu stared steadily at me. Have you forgotten? You are my husband now. My heartbeat lost its rhythm. I could not shake the feeling that Shen Youchu seemed a little different now. I'm going out for a moment. What for? To get even. I had meant to find Liu Li, but spotted Ling Fan and Uncle Liu Yaowang in the hallway. Liu Yaowang rubbed his hands together. All right, nephew. Your uncle is a little short on cash. Ling Fan suppressed his anger. I already gave you my allowance for this month. I'm doomed either way. If you do not give me money, I'll tell him the truth. He will definitely pay a fortune. I pushed open the door and walked in. My voice was icy. What truth? Ling Fan jumped in fright. Ling Yu, what are you doing? Eavesdropping on us? I looked Liu Yaowang straight in the eye. Go on. What truth? I can give you money. How much? Liu Yaowang's eyes lit up. Ling Fan said in a panic. I'll find a way to get you the money you want. Now get lost. Before leaving, Liu Yaowang whispered to me, Nephew, that secret will always be worth something to you. As long as you pay enough, I'll sell it to you. I messaged Jiyu. Look into Liu Yaowang. I turned and saw Ling Fan about to leave. I said coolly, if you do not want anyone to know, then do not do it in the first place. Do you think I cannot uncover whatever you have going on with Liu Yaowang? Ling Fan went rigid. What are you talking about? I do not understand. What kind of leverage does he have on you? That makes you pay him every month. What nonsense are you spouting? If you have any energy to spare, you should think hard about your own way out. Do not waste your time on me. Where is Liu Li? She's your mother. Why ask me? How would I know? Ling Fan quickly fled. I called Liu Li. I want you to come back and apologize to Miss Shen. No. Miss Shen will not let me off. Apologize for me. You are my son. A son pays his mother's debts. In that case, do not blame me for calling the police. Why are you calling the police? I'm your mother. You are the one I meant to hit. A mother disciplining her child is only natural. I hung up immediately. Liu Li panicked. Liu Li was ultimately detained for 48 hours. Back in the hospital room, Youchu was holding a meeting in the RV downstairs. I sat beside the bed. I'm sorry. The old lady waved it off. Grandson-in-law, we're family. Why say that? Besides, seeing that brat stand up for you, I'm happier than I can say. The words, we're family, brought a faint warmth to my eyes. Meanwhile, Ling Fan scraped together 50,000 yuan and wired it to Liu Yaowang. He added, keep your mouth shut. Otherwise, neither of us will end well. Fear churned in his heart. He only wanted to marry Shen as soon as possible, as long as he became the Shen family's son-in-law. Even if his identity was exposed, he would still have a way out. At 9 that evening, Shen suddenly came to see Ling Fan. Ling Fan brightened. Sister Shen, what brings you here? Shen demanded sharply. About Dr. Yu. Are you sure you have spoken with him? Ling Fan's eyes flickered. Of course. Then arrange a meeting between Dr. Yu and me. Ling Fan nervously picked at his fingers. Dr. Yu has gone abroad. I'll arrange it when he returns. Sister Shen, have a problem that needs solving. I'll contact him for you. Shen eyed him suspiciously. I emailed you the problem. Forward it to Dr. Yu. Have Dr. Yu help solve it. All right. I'll forward it to him now. Ling Fan knew Mrs. Ling's email password by heart. He had discovered that Dr. Yu always replied to Mrs. Ling's emails immediately and never asked questions. That was why he dared to lie. He worked on his phone and forwarded it at once. Dr. Yu usually responds to my messages right away. Sister Shen, please wait a moment. In the VIP hospital room, my phone vibrated. I glanced at it. It wasn't a mail from Mrs. Ling. Xiaoyu, can you help solve this problem? Sure enough, the attachment contained a technical problem from the Shen group. I gave a derisive laugh. Ling Fan was using Mrs. Ling's name to ask for my help. I replied coldly. I'm only responsible for the Ling family. The Shen group's problems are not my concern. A notification chimed on Ling Fan's phone. He opened the email with a broad smile. The instant he saw its contents, his smile froze. Shen frowned. What's wrong? Ling Fan forced down his panic, then said with an awkward smile, Doctor, you said, this problem will take a few days to solve. Shen sighed in relief. That's normal. This problem really is difficult. I made a bet with the people on Ling Yu's team. We would have a proposal by Friday. No problem, right? No problem. Yet Ling Fan's eyes flickered uneasily. Shen returned to the Shen family home. For the first time in ages, her father, Shen Yuanji, smiled at her. That's my good daughter. You actually managed to bring in Dr. Yu. You've established yourself in research and development so quickly. Her mother, Liu Mijin, wept with joy as well. Shen clenched her fists. Since she had chosen a marriage alliance, she would never regret it. As for Ling Fan, he could only belong to her. Elsewhere, I sneezed. Then I bent over my work again. My cup was empty. A shadow suddenly fell before me. Youchu poured a glass of water and set it on the small table. I paused, slightly startled. Thanks. You're welcome. It was nothing. Youchu naturally returned to her seat. The little old lady watched us with a smile she could not contain. She had already begun flipping through a dictionary for names for her great-grandchild. The next day, in research and development, Shen stopped me in the break room. Tonight, there's a networking event about the new energy industry. Everyone attending is a major name in the field. They say Dr. Yu may attend to. I did not slow down. And the Shen Group's research and development department has invitations. I can take you there and broaden your horizons. You can make some useful connections. No, thanks. I entered the office without looking back. Team leader Ling Yingqiao scoffed. You think one invitation is enough to buy him off? Ling Yu isn't that short-sighted. Shen said coldly. You should understand that I can give him better resources. An event like that. Do you think just anyone can attend? At least I can get him in. After work, Ling Yingqiao stopped me. There's work tonight. Come with me. I did not think much of it. I texted Shen Youchu that I would be working late, then got into her car. When we reached the reception entrance, a server stopped Ling Yingqiao. I'm sorry, Ms. Ling. The Shen Group's guest for today were registered with us in advance. Your name is not on the list. Shen emerged holding a glass of champagne. She narrowed her eyes. Team leader Ling. Team B has a heavy research workload. I thought you would not come, so I declined on your behalf when I registered the guest. It seems too late to add you now. You should go back. Ling Yingqiao burned with rage. Shen, you've gone too far. What gives you the right to decline from me? I'm the Vice President of Research and Development. Of course, I can make decisions for you. Shen turned to me. Ling Yu, do you see now? Without my approval, you cannot get through those doors. I raised my eyes calmly. Is that so? I pulled up the electronic invitation Jiu had mailed me and handed it to the server. Can we go in now? The server took one look at it, then immediately stepped aside respectfully. Please, come in. Shen's expression changed drastically. She stared at the personalized invitation on my phone. What identity did you use to get that invitation? None of your damn business. I turned off my screen. Then I said to Ling Yingqiao, let's go. Ling Yingqiao was overjoyed. She led me into the venue and introduced me to industry leaders. As we exchanged pleasantries, Ling Fan and Shen came over. President Ling and several senior experts spotted Ling Fan and immediately gathered around him. Young Master Ling, when will Dr. Yu finally make an appearance? We'd love to learn from him. Ling Fan basked in their admiration, while pretending to be modest. I'm only here with my fiancé today. Shen also took the opportunity to build connections. Ling Yingqiao was pushed to the edge of the crowd. She murmured to me, Ji will be here soon. Don't be shy. Be a little bolder. Go raise a toast to her. Too many people want to meet her. The corner of my mouth twitched. I'll introduce you to her later. Ling Yingqiao assumed I was bragging. Then a commotion broke out at the entrance. Jiu had arrived. Ling Fan smugly straightened his suit. He walked toward me. Ling Yu, you need me to introduce you to President Ji. Shen sneered as well. Do you think Jiu is some lustful woman? So many handsome men have pursued her, and she did not give any of them a second glance. Do you really think you're that irresistible? Ling Fan led Shen toward Jiu. President Ji, before he could finish, Jiu swept past him like a gust of wind. Before the crowd's stunned eyes, she rushed toward me in delight. What are you doing here? The entire room fell into deathly silence. Ling Fan's outstretched hand froze in midair. Before he could wipe the smile from his face, it hardened into comical terror. Shen was utterly dumbfounded. Her champagne glass nearly slipped from her hand. President Ji, have you mistaken him for someone else? Ling Fan asked in a trembling voice. He's Ling Yu, just an idle freeloader in our family. Jiu did not even acknowledge him. She only gazed at me with shining eyes. Boss, I sent dozens of emails asking you to attend. You said you were unavailable every time. So, you came incognito to inspect the event. I smiled helplessly. I came with my boss to handle some personal business. Boss, Shen shrieked. Her voice cracked. Jiu, you call him boss? Isn't he the man living off his gangster wife? Jiu turned with a cold expression. Her gaze was sharp as a blade. Miss Shen, show some respect. The man standing before you is the very person your Shen group has been desperate to recruit as its technical cornerstone. And the elusive Dr. Yu, who has never appeared in public. A wave of suppressed gasps erupted through the crowd. Impossible. Ling Fan completely lost control. He pointed at me and roared. Dr. Yu has always been in contact with my mother. How could he possibly be this illegitimate son? Ling Yu, what did you give Jiu to make her put on this act with you? I stepped forward. I looked at him coldly. Ling Fan, you stole Mrs. Ling's phone to send those emails. Did you really think I wouldn't know? That line about being responsible only to the Ling family. Didn't you just receive it? Ling Fan's face went deathly pale. His legs gave out, and he collapsed to the floor. Shen swayed on the verge of collapse. Ling Fan looked at me. his eyes filled with regret and disbelief. He had always thought I was struggling in the mud, and wanted to humiliate me with 50,000 yuan. Yet in the blink of an eye, I had become a god he could only look up to. Just then, a commotion arose outside. Supported by the nanny, Mrs. Ling actually walked in. Her complexion was rosy, and her steps were steady. There was no trace of yesterday's sickly weakness. Ling Yu. Mrs. Ling walked straight toward me, her eyes brimming with tears. You developed that medicine yourself, didn't you? I nodded. Are you feeling better? Never better. Mrs. Ling turned to Ling Zhenin and Liu Li, her voice cool and resolute. Zhenin, haven't you always wanted to meet Dr. Yu? He's right here. And my trusted aide, Chenji, has already told me the truth about what happened back then. The nanny stepped forward, staring at Liu Li. Liu Li, did you think switching the babies at the hospital could stay hidden forever? All these years, I've been investigating you and keeping watch all these years. As a woman, you showed no concern for your own son, yet doted excessively on someone else's child. I knew something was wrong long ago. I've already completed the paternity test. She threw down a report. Trembling, Ling Zhenin took it. Once he saw the results, he spun around and slapped Liu Li across the face. You dared replace my son with your bastard? Liu Li let out a shriek and crumpled completely. Staring at the report, Ling Fan cried out in despair. No, I'm the eldest son of the Ling family. I'm there. I watched it all without emotion. Status, wealth, blood ties, all the things that had once bound me, now seemed lighter than a feather. Boss, the car is ready. Ji reminded me softly. I turned to leave, but someone gently caught my hand. At some point, Shen Youchu had come to stand behind me. She had changed into a dark, long dress. The wounds on her back were hidden beneath it, but her gaze no longer held its usual coldness. Mr. Ling, she said softly, with a hint of reliance she did not even realize herself. Grandma is still at the hospital, waiting for us to come home. I looked at her, and something gently struck the softest place in my heart. All right, let's go home. As we left the banquet hall, Shen rushed out. Her tear-streaked face was as delicate as a blossom in the rain. Ling Yu, I was wrong. Can we go back to the way things were in college? I did not stop walking. Without looking back, I said, Miss Shen, you once said an illegitimate son and a gangster were a perfect match. I think you and Ling Fan, as he is now, are the ones truly made for each other. Shen's desperate sobs echoed behind me, while Haiqing's dazzling night stretched ahead. In the car, Shen Youchu suddenly asked about that neurology book. When are you giving it back? I raised a brow at her. President Shen, are you checking up on me? She turned to look out the window, the tips of her ears slightly red. I'm afraid Dr. Yu might run off one day, and Grandma will tear the Shen group apart. I could not help laughing. I casually put an arm around her shoulders. This time, she did not pull away. Don't worry. Our contract has not expired yet. Besides, I have not officially become your real husband yet. 3 months later, an Alzheimer's medication for clinical use was successfully developed. That day, Haikin saw its first rain since autumn began. When I left the laboratory, I saw Shen Youchu standing at the entrance, holding a black umbrella. She was wearing the dark long dress I had seen countless times. She seemed to have waited a long time. Fine raindrops clung to the ends of her hair. Grandma asked me to pick you up. Her tone was still calm, but on that usually expressionless face, I could already see something different. The tips of her ears had turned red again. I walked over, naturally took the umbrella, and drew her closer beneath it. President Shen came to pick me up herself. I'm deeply honored. She glanced at me. She said nothing, but she did not pull away either. As the car headed toward the Shen family estate, she suddenly spoke. That divorce agreement. I turned to look at her. She paused, her gaze settling on the rain racing past the window. Her voice was so soft, it was almost as if she were speaking to herself. Grandma tore it up. I was taken aback, then smiled. What should we do now? Shen Youchu hesitated. A rare flicker of embarrassment crossed her face. She said she'd gone to great lengths to find me a husband. So, we cannot divorce. I said nothing. I only looked at her. At last, she turned to me too, and met my gaze. Rain pattered softly beyond the car windows. Inside, it was quiet enough to hear each other breathe. Her eyes were bright, like stars had fallen into them after the rain. Ling Yu, she called my name. Her voice was cool, yet carried a softness she had not noticed herself. We've started Grandma on your medicine. Her first course begins tonight. She nodded. After a moment of silence, she added, thank you. I looked at her, suddenly wanting to tease her. Just a verbal thank you? She froze for a moment, as though she had not expected me to say that. That face, always cold as ice, showed a flicker of helplessness. I laughed, reaching out to ruffle her hair. I was only teasing. She glared at me, but did not move away from my hand. The car stopped outside the Shen family estate. The rain had stopped, and a sliver of sunset showed at the horizon. The little old lady was already waiting at the gate. The moment she saw us get out, she hurried over with a beaming smile. She took my hand in one of hers, and Shen Youchu's in the other, pulling us both into the house. Quick, quick. We've been waiting to start dinner. At dinner, the little old lady kept serving food onto my plate, then onto Shen Youchu's. Eat more, grandson-in-law. And you too, you little brat. You have both gotten too thin. Rarely, Shen Youchu did not protest being called a little brat. She simply ate quietly, occasionally glancing up at me. After dinner, the little old lady had us sit in the courtyard for tea. The sunset painted the entire courtyard a warm orange. The air carried the fresh scent of earth after rain. The little old lady suddenly said, "Grandson-in-law, little brat, I have something to tell you both." Shen Youchu and I looked at her at the same time. The little old lady smiled sweetly, but a gleam flickered in her eyes. I remember now. I froze. How had we ended up registering our marriage? Then I remembered. It turned out our marriage certificate had been arranged entirely by the little old lady. We had registered our marriage without even knowing. The little old lady looked at me with a beaming smile. "Grandson-in-law, you don't blame me, do you?" I looked at Shen Youchu, then at the little old lady, and suddenly smiled. "I don't blame you." The little old lady nodded in satisfaction. Then she looked at us both again. "So, when are you planning to have the wedding?" Shen Youchu could not sit still any longer. She stood up to leave. The little old lady grabbed her. "Why are you running off? You're already married. Why be shy?" I watched the scene with a smile, and suddenly felt this was probably the life I had always wanted. Shen Youchu finally pulled free from the little old lady's grasp and came to my side. "Let's go," she said quietly. I stood and said goodbye to the little old lady. She waved with a smile, then secretly slipped me a note. Once in the car, I opened it. There was one line written on it. "Grandson-in-law, if that little brat bullies you, tell me. I'll set her straight for you." I could not help laughing. Shen Youchu leaned over to read it. After reading it, she was silent for 2 seconds, then said, "Grandma's handwriting is quite nice." I turned to look at her. She met my gaze, then suddenly asked, "Ling, what are you smiling about?" I looked at her and said seriously, "I'm lucky." She paused in surprise. "What?" I did not spend a penny, yet I got myself a wife. I said it may have been fake, but now, it seems to be becoming real. She stared at me for several seconds, then looked away, toward the window. But I saw it, the faint curve lifting at the corner of her lips. The car slowly drove into the night. Haichin's light streamed past the window. "Shen Youchu," I called. "Are you free tomorrow?" She turned to me. I looked at her, my eyes smiling. "Let's tear up that divorce agreement." She was silent for 2 seconds, then gave a soft hum of agreement. Her voice was quiet, yet heavier than every promise in the world. Beyond the window, Haichin's night was deepening, and I felt that this was the night that had